Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Èmi ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, mo kí yín. Ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kú ìrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ kú ìyálẹ̀ta ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ wa. Right now, I'm saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to us. It's Yoruba World Media once again. Àwa tún dé bí a ti ń dé. Ní agbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run wọn nífẹ̀ẹ́ lómi ìṣe wa o. Iwájú iwájú ni ọ̀pá ìbí tí ń ré sí. Iwájú iwájú làwa yóò máa lọ. Nígbà táwọn bá ti gbèrò ẹ̀kọ́ àṣọmọ ẹnìkan tí a dẹ̀rọ tó wọn làkejì wa níbi dandan ni àṣeyọrí báyìí ní nítorí pé àṣeyẹ ni alákànṣepọ̀. Ní agbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run àṣeyọrí la máa ṣe. Mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ kú dédé ìwòyí. Orúkọ tèmi ni Fatai Ogunribido. A ní ká mú ètò ìwá sí etí ìgbọ́ yín nípa nǹkan tó ń lọ. Lónìí ènìyàn kan pàtàkì ẹni tó jẹ́ wípé tó máa kẹnu bọ ọ̀rọ̀ ó máa jẹ́ ìyàlẹ́nu fún yín pé tọ́ ara wa ni wọ́n. Bó tiẹ̀ sọ pé àwọn kì í ṣara wa torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà láti jà. Mo ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ Yorùbá lèmi wò yìí àwọn ní rárá o. Àwọn ò kì í ṣe Yorùbá Ghana làwọn. Bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé Ghana náà one third of Ghana Yorùbá náà ni wọ́n. Tọ́ àwa la làkàrà afẹ́ akọ̀. Inú àwọn gan dùn, yes àwa la làkàrà. Ara nǹkan tí àwọn ìkà tó ṣe fún wa nìyẹn, àwọn òyìnbó, àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ó gba nǹkan lójú oní nǹkan. Tó jẹ́ pé tiwọn nǹkan náà ń rò wọn àrò tiwa mọ́ lágbára ṣe Ọlọ́run a máa jára wa gbà. Tọ́ pó kí yín ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ẹ kú iṣẹ́. Ẹ má wò a kàn wá ní àwòrán kùtùkùtù nítorí pé àwọn oníwò wípé bó ṣe ń lọ a gbọ́dọ̀ máa báyé bá ń yí ká máa báyé yí. Àti pàápàá wọ́n ní tí ará ilé bá ń jẹ tí ará ilé ẹni bá jẹ kòkòrò búburú tí a bá sọ fún wọn ní kùrùkùrù kẹrẹ kò ní jẹ́ ká sùn lóru. Ìyẹn ló mú wa wípé tọ̀ tá a bá rí ẹni bí ẹni èèyàn bí èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé àwọn fúnra wọn náà wọ́n fi ìrònú jọ wá, wọ́n fi ìwà jọ wá nípa wípé báwo làwa ṣe ro ọ̀rọ̀ Áfíríkà sí, báwo làwa ṣe ro ọ̀rọ̀ West Africa sí, kí ni ìrònú wa, kí ni ọjọ́ iwájú wa, kí gangan ni ọjọ́ òní, kí gangan ni ọjọ́ ọ̀la, níbo gangan la dúró sí, níbo gangan la wà. Báwa ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ náà nìyẹn. Òun ló mú àwa tí àjọmọ Yorùbá wípé tọ̀ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a ti wà pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà fún ọjọ́ pípẹ́ kò sí ìrètí, kò sí ayé rere, kò sí ògo, kò sí ọlá, kò sí ọlà. Ìlú tá a wà ó di 150 ó lé ọdún bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ó pẹ́ tí wọ́n ti ń kó ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ tó ti ń kó wa lọ tó ti ń kó wa lọ lọ́rọ̀ tí a fúnra. Ṣùgbọ́n ọjọ́ nígbà táwọn tán mẹ́kẹ́ ọ̀fíṣíà àti gbogbo àgbáyé mọ̀ wọ́n la gba òmìnira 1960. Di wákàtí ọ̀wọ̀ yìí kò sí iná, kò sí títì, infrastructure kò sí nǹkan tá a lè sọ pé inú wa fi lè dùn pé a jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà. Ìyẹn ni wípé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó fi kọ́ Àbújá lónìí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti South ni wọ́n ti rí. Gbogbo nǹkan tó mẹ́kì Nàìjíríà lónìí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni láì sọ pé tọ̀ tí wájú bá ṣe lọ ẹ̀yà ṣe padà sí. So gbogbo àlàyé wa lónìí ó dá lórí wípé bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé tèmi ó yàtọ̀ sí tiwantiwa ṣùgbọ́n àgbájọwọ́ la fi sọ̀yà tó pé àyèjẹ́ ọwọ́ kan kò gbẹ́rù dórí. Ìyẹn ló mú wa lónìí wípé ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ nípa àwọn èèyàn wa ní Niger Republic, gbogbo àlàyé ní ẹnujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí ó dá lórí wípé àwa tó jẹ́ wípé a sì ń gbìyànjú ni ká gbé ìgbé ayọ̀, à ń gbìyànjú, à ń tiraka pé kí ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa ní West Africa kó lè dára. Òun la ṣe ní pé ẹ jẹ́ ká create the economic community of West African countries tá a ní tán pè ní Ecowas. All these West African states la mọ̀ wípé a ti fi ìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan bí ó ti jẹ́ pé kò tí ì wà 100%. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn nǹkan kan wà tó ti pa wá pọ̀ látọjọ́ pípẹ́ wá ká dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé a ti fi ọkàn ara wa fi bára wa ṣe. Tá bá wo Nigeria passport lónìí, Ecowas emblem ló wà lára ẹ̀. Wọ́n sọ pé particularly pé Nàìjíríà ni Ecowas community ló wà lára ẹ̀. Ìyẹn ni pé nǹkan kan ti pa wá pọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ìwọ̀ oòrùn Áfíríkà. So ìdí èyí kan gbogbo àwa tá a dẹ̀ wá láti West Africa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ló kàn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n nípa wípé kí ni wọ́n ní ààrẹ tuntun tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yàn ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu, òun ni ó jẹ́ bí alága ìjókòó lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní ECOWAS community. ECOWAS yìí gbogbo alámọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ tán bá sọ òun ni ó jẹyọ lórí gbogbo àwa tá a kóra wa jọ tá a jẹ́ ECOWAS members. Ẹni tí mo gbọ́ wá lónìí ó jẹ́ ìkan nínú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi gidigidi láti ọjọ́ pípẹ́ wa, àtijọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀, àtijọ́ ń ṣe ètò nígbà kan rí, pàápàá tá a jọ máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo dẹ̀ rí bí ọ̀rọ̀ ECOWAS ṣe ká wọn lára. Orúkọ wọn ó ń jẹ́ dókítà gidi ni wọ́n, ọ̀mọ̀wé ńlá ni wọ́n, KOFFI ABDUL-YEKIN. Ẹ̀yin kan ti mọ̀ wọ́n torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà ló jẹ́ pé máa ń bá wa àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá máa ń bá wa jẹ́, máa ń bá wa mu. Bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé wọ́n ní wọn ò fẹ́ káwa ọmọ Yorùbá ká lọ, tá a dẹ̀ ti ṣàlàyé fún wọn pé a gbọ́dọ̀ lọ nì nítorí pé àwa ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo, we are the light, the true light, the signal, the arrowhead of the freedom of Africa. Ìtumọ̀ ẹ̀ nìyẹn. So it is we that is going to champion the mission, the vision that you have. Nítorí pé you want unity for Africa, you want unity for West Africa. We are going to get there. Ní agbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run. So my uncle, my brother, Dr. KOFFI ABDUL-YEKIN, mo kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yìí. Tí n bá mú yín sọ òyìnbó, a fẹ́ káwọn èèyàn wá kán sọ lọ́kọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá táwọn wò yìí o, ojú ẹ̀ ò jọ Yorùbá, ojú jọ Yorùbá ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n ò jọ Yorùbá, a fẹ́ fún òyìnbó bẹ̀rẹ̀. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́, Uncle ABDUL-YEKIN, introduce yourself to our people, let them know you. Those who know you, but those who haven't heard about you before, let them know you. Who are you?
Thank you. Mo kí gbogbo yín lásìkò yìí. Èmi kì í ṣe doctor. Mi ò tí ì gba iye doctor.
Okay.
KOFFI ABDUL-YEKIN lórúkọ tèmi. ABDUL-YEKIN, bàbá fẹ́ sọ ipe lọ́rọ̀ ìlú ọmọ Ghana lèmi. Ṣùgbọ́n mo lè ka ìlú tí mi ò tí ì gbé, àbí tí mi ò tí ì ṣiṣẹ́, àbí tí mi ò tí ì kàwé rí ní West Africa. Kò sí ìlú tí mi ò tí ì dé rí, àfi díẹ̀. Bí irú Sierra Leone, bí irú bí irú Liberia, nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ ogun ni ò já débẹ̀. N tó dẹ̀ sún mi káàkiri gbogbo ibi tí mò ń káàkiri lọ. Kí n tó lọ, ìgbà tí mo kọ́kọ́ kó Ghana, ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà mo kọ́kọ́ lọ. Ibẹ̀ mo ti ṣe O-level mi, tí mo ṣe A-level mi. ABDUL-YEKIN Ali KOFFI, mo lọ sí Ondo State College of Art and Science. Ẹni tó bá mọ Ondo yóò sọ pé ó mọ̀ mí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Mo lọ Orímọládé Secondary School, ibẹ̀ mo ti ṣe O-level mi gan, kí n tó lọ sí Ondo State College, Federal College of Art and Science. Lọ́rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, ká máa cancel result, ká máa kí nǹkan má jọ nǹkan, bó bá lọ léwu, àmọ́ tá à ń ṣe ń léwu. Mo wà lára àwọn tó lọ sí Oscars, Ọ̀yọ́ State College of Art and Science nílé Ifẹ̀ nígbà yẹn, nísìnyí Ọ̀ṣun ló ń jẹ́. Àwa làwọn ọmọ tó ń sá káàkiri pati Ilé Ifẹ̀, OAU, ojoojúmọ́ ibẹ̀ la wà. Ìbàdàn lèmi gbé dáadáa, mo dẹ̀ lọ sí University of Ìbàdàn. Tọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín tẹ́ bá lọ sí Melambi Hall lénìí, ó ṣeé ṣe kẹ́ ẹ rí orúkọ mi ńbẹ̀ among those who were once in that school. Nígbà táwa ń lọ UI, kí n tẹ̀ tó sọ̀gbà tiwa, I was a member of SRC, Student Representative Council. So tí n bá fẹ́ pera mi lọ́dọ̀, ipe mi ní o, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tèmi mọ̀ ipe àjọ dàgbà, àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n. 1992 mo kó University of Ibadan, economics mo ṣe. Ìgbà tí wá lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa tún wá bàjẹ́ sí. Nígbà tèmi wọ UI, èèyàn méjì là ń fún yàrá kan. yes, a máa ní àwọn squatters. First year ó ní yàrá, then third year you are entitled, fourth year you are entitled, second and third year you are not. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n máa ń squat àbí ká máa gba agbowó àbí ká máa wá láti ìta. Tó bá dé area Pópóyẹmọjà, Mọ̀lété, Bẹ̀rẹ̀, Ọjọ́ba, àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tán mọ̀ mí wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn ọkùnrin á mọ̀. So tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, èmi kì í ṣàlejò. Tí Nàìjíríà bá dáa ni nígbà tí àwa kó yunifásitì, bóyá èmi ò bá ní lọ síbi kankan, kò tiẹ̀ sí lọ́kàn mi láti kó bẹ̀ yẹn, láti lọ Ghana gan èmi ò tiẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ mọ́. But kọ́mọ ọ̀dọ́ kò léèwé, táwọn èèyàn òbí ará tán wò kó o ṣe nǹkan pẹ̀lú ayé ẹ̀, kó o jókòó káyé ẹ̀ máa bàjẹ́ báyìí lójú ẹ̀, òun ló sú mi kó ní ìlú yẹn. Bí gbogbo yín ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìlú yẹn, lèmi náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ ìlú yẹn. Yes. In fact, nígbà táwa wà UI, tó tún sọ fún wa pé ká tiẹ̀ lọ san owó registration, owó kékeré kan ní a máa já. Ìgbà tiwa náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí, wọ́n ti yí kíní ẹ̀ padà, converting federal government schools and colleges and facilities and so on. Wọ́n ti ń gbé wọn lọ sí side private sector. Anywhere tó bá lọ lénìí, wọ́n ti yọ everything lọ́wọ́ ìjọba, àwọn amúrọ̀bà ti gbà ló mọ́ àwọn èèyàn lọ́wọ́. So tí n bá rí àwọn èèyàn tán sunkún pé àwọn fẹ́ gbòmìnira, wọ́n fẹ́ gbára wọn kó lórí lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan, wallahi tallahi, my heart bleed with them because I know what they are going through. Nàìjíríà tó bá lẹ́nì kankan, wàá má jìyà. Tó bá ní bàbá kan tó ní ẹsẹ̀ ńlẹ̀, wallahi, ó níbi tí wàá gbọ́rọ̀ ẹ̀ gbà. Mo rántí ìgbà kan when I was a teacher in the Gambia, tí mo lọ sí UI kí n lọ gba certificate mi. Nígbà tí mo débẹ̀ yẹn, no, láti bíbá yìí ni, tí mo débẹ̀ yẹn ní UI, mo ní ẹnìkan ní Bódìjà Ojúrin, uncle mi ni, mo lọ gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀ for that 4 days tí mo ṣe ní Nàìjíríà, ní Ìbàdàn. Nígbà tí mo débẹ̀, around 10 o'clock, mo wá ń gbọ́ ariwo ó lọ bí nǹkan. Mo wá béèrè pé àwọn tá ló ń pariwo báyìí? Wọ́n ní àwọn tán support Arsenal àti Man U. Láriwo báyìí. Mo wá ní ṣé wọ́n ń jà ní tá fi supporter? Wọ́n ní wọ́n ní wọ́n ń ka newspaper ni o. Wọ́n ka newspaper tán, wọ́n wá ń jiyàn lórí newspaper tán kà. So wọ́n ní àwọn èèyàn púpọ̀ báyìí, they are up to about 2,000 tí wọ́n ń ka newspaper ní around 11-12 o'clock. Mo wá rántí pé nígbà táwa gan wà UI, bá ṣe máa ń lọ dó níbi pépà ní àkàtà gbélẹ̀, àlówó láti fi rà. Àwọn ọmọ tá à ń wí yìí o, they are all graduates. Some of them wọ́n jáde polytechnics. Àwọn ọmọ parí iléèwé kò síṣẹ́. Wọn ò fẹ́ jókòó nílé lójoojúmọ́ káwọn èèyàn máa bú wọn pé ìwé, ẹni tí ò kàwé gan ni ó máa wá wò ẹ́ pé olórí burúkú wo ni o. Ó kàwé tán, wọ́n ná gbogbo owó lérè owó kan kankan o. Bóyá àwọn ò tiẹ̀ lẹ́ni tí ó ràn òun lọ léwu. Ó wá ṣe tán, òun wá ní ẹnu nítorí òun ta ẹran sìn. Ó wá sọ fún ìwọ tó kàwé yìí tó para rẹ tó ṣẹ́bìtì tó kà á tán. Ó wá ń pè wọ́n lọ́lẹ̀. Ìwọ ló wàá jí o, kúwọ náà fi hàn pé ìwọ ṣe èèyàn burúkú. O ní dìgírì, wàá wá lọ sí Bódìjà, wàá máa ṣe bàràǹdà. Ìlú ònà. So ọ̀rọ̀ wà ńlẹ̀. Nígbà tèmi kó Nàìjíríà tí mo padà sí Ghana, níbi tán ti bí mi, níbi tèmi ti wà. Eléyìí tí mo tún bá ń bẹ̀, ó fẹ́ dàbí pé ibi tí mo ti kọjú, ibi tí mo lọ, tí mo lọ bára mi Gambia nù. Mali, Senegal, kò síbi tí a dé. Gbogbo eléyìí tẹ̀ ń wò yìí, gbogbo desert yẹn kò síbi tí mi ò lọ. Àwọn tẹ́ndẹ̀ mọ̀ mí, àwọn Famafo, àwọn Additional, àwọn they know me very well pé ọkùnrin yìí ojú ẹ̀ rí díẹ̀. But eventually èmi náà wà lára àwọn tí a ní wọ́n bọ́, because téèyàn bá wà ń lu yìí tó ń rí tí ó jẹ, tó ń rí tí ó mú, tó ń rí ilé tí òun ó sùn sí, ìwòsàn ọ̀fẹ́ ni fún everyone. Ìlú jẹ́ pé everybody, almost everybody ló níṣẹ́. Ìwòsàn ọ̀fẹ́ ni fún everyone. Lẹ́yìn yẹn o, àwọn ọmọ till the age of 16, ìwé compulsory ni, ọ̀fẹ́ tún ni. Ẹ̀yin ó tún wá rí jẹ ṣẹ́kù tó yẹ pé yóò tún fi ránṣẹ́ sí ẹbí àtàrà níbikíbi tá a bá wà. Nǹkan mi máa wà nínú ọ̀rọ̀ wa. So ibẹ̀ la ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa ronú pé ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ kí ló wà ń di ẹ̀ gan? Kí ló wà ń di ọ̀rọ̀ yìí gan? Well, a ti gbọ́ pé àwọn kan, àwọn sọ pé because kò sí ẹni tí ó wà ń lù tààrà ó tù tó ní òun fẹ́ kó nínú ìlú yẹn. But àwọn ò ní nǹkan kan tá a sọ fún àwọn tán believe pé ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n. There are two things: solve their problem or let them go. A wà nílùú gbogbo wa, we are now. I want to speak English. I want to stop the Yoruba. I think those listening now can see that yes, if I say I know what they are doing and what is happening in Nigeria, I have an idea. Because we are now back to serious business. You see, in life, nobody chooses their parents. In other words, your family at birth. And your family is an extension, your country is an extension of your family. When you are born into poor family, your life will be very, very difficult. But when you are lucky to have a country that has the shoulders, they carry you along. Whatever is your problem, they will never leave you alone. But when you are fortunate to be born in a country, or when you are fortunate to be born in a family and a country like Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Mali, you can try as you want. Your family and nation has the key to open the doors for you. I read economics from University of Ibadan. I had second class lower. A girl who did Yoruba had a job in Lagos in a bank. I was walking the street every day with my useless certificate until I threw them away and left the country. That tells you that her family are those who put their debt. You don't need to read economics to work in a bank. You don't need to be an engineer to work in a car manufacturing industry. No. You can be trained on any job. An average person can be trained on any job, but the job must be there. Now, let us look at something. I've said something about your family and your country, and you don't choose them, and you can be born into a hell. When that happens, it's like somebody born by a poor parent. You would say, well, my father is poor, and I know my father is poor. My mother is poor, but I do not want to die in poverty. Now the war becomes your battle because you have made that decision. You can die like your parents, or you can die free, and your children will be born free, and the generations that will come will be born free. You see, the world as we see it is more than what we thought we are seeing, and these are what my work explains. Somehow, before we even knew ourselves as citizens, before we know where the world is going, the world has been cut into pieces. Pieces. The cutting of the world into nations work like football teams in the United Nations. The stronger and powerful you are, the better for you in any competition. The weaker you are, boy, we all know how lives work. Now look at it this way. If Nigeria, for example, is a football team, is that not true? What is a football team? Some people will tell you that a football team, right, is 11 players, and their captain. My brother, is a lie, you. Supporters club of the team, supporters who are gambling, supporters who follow them, who buy they are part of the team. The players are always 11. They are also part of the team. Can you see? You call them players, but the team include the manager, the captain, everybody, the 11 players, and the supporters. You go to everywhere together. They win together and they lose together. And that's how countries work. No football team go and play and they lose. If you're a good supporter, you will be happy. You will be sad even when you didn't bet money. And some people, it's like a community, it's like a tribal thing to them. They must win. And that's why you have football hooliganism. In a country, the team is very simple. You see, there is 11 players and the supporters. Now, they are a team. The 11 players, the captain is called Mr. President. The 11 players are members of the House of Assembly in Nigeria, National Assembly.
Well, program I pay later.
Yeah. So these are the 11 players. The Nigerian masses, they are the supporters. Whether you are divided within Nigeria or not, you are all in one football team against the British or against the Americans or against the Chinese or against the Russians. Now you have to make your choice. They are attacking you. They are winning, because when you win, there's a medal and prize and happiness to show for it. When you lose, not only just the manager or the captain and the 11 players, and who is one of the 11 players, which is the National Assembly, and the population are going to suffer. All of them will suffer.
Well, actually, the point you're trying to make, I can understand. And that is the fact that unity is strength. To be precisely put, unity is strength.
I am analyzing Nigeria.
I know.
You can't be stronger than Nigeria. You Nigerians together, you cannot be stronger than Nigeria.
But we make Nigeria though.
You see, let me give you a good example. When Rawlings came to Ghana, and he took gun, and he followed the criminals, and he said, you people have destroyed this country. I, Rawlings, I will change this country to be even better than Europe. All of us, at that time, we're running to Nigeria. All of us were so happy. We were falling down. We're dancing. God has saved us. We even call him Junior Jesus. We gave him the country. A military officer, when you mess up, they come to your house. When you say they are going is bad, today they are going. This one is something else. They will shoot you. So everybody was scared. Real terror. Every time they just bring some people, line them up and shoot them. And what have they done? They say they are coup plotters. Whether they are coup plotters or not, nobody will ask. With the terror, Rawlings ruled Ghana for almost, he came to make problem. He ruled Ghana for about 10 years, military, alone. We gave him all the power, no argument. We are solidly, if you want to talk, go and talk good about Rawlings or you shut up. Then, my brother, nothing work. The whole of the power of Ghana, when these monsters put sanction on us, sanction that, no petrol, no this, no that. It closed down because Rawlings was only saying that the profit, the tax Coca-Cola is paying, they should increase it. They closed it down. They went to be operating in Togo and Benin. That in Nigeria, you buy Coca-Cola like nothing. You go to Ghana, if you say you are going to buy Coca-Cola, they ask you, why is somebody sick? that what they need to drink is Coca-Cola. So when he did that, he then moved for them to start releasing this thing, the sanction. He then moved from military rule, form a political party, and we have civilian government. He again ruled for 8 years. He just died though. The only one who has a big house is his family. The rest of us, we are where he left us. What I want to tell you is that we Ghanaians could not have given Rawlings the power more than the power of Ghana to fight Europeans, to fight Americans alone. You see, Omotioba ibiti agbára bàbá de wọn na wọn tún na bàbá ẹ mọ́. Wallahi wọn jà kó na wọn tún na bàbá ẹ mọ́. Ojú ẹ báyìí ni wọn na wọn tún na yẹ. What I'm trying to say here is that sometimes we behave like children. Àwọn alágbára ń gbin àwọn olórí burúkú wa ń ta wọn pariwo pé já lọ pa wọn. There is a saying that where the angels fear to steps, the fool what? They trod, they somersault. The problem that you are seeing is more than Nigeria. You, for some reason, will never understand. 3 million barrels a day is what leave the shores of Nigeria. At the time I was in Nigeria, when Abacha, Babangida was there, Shonaka came in, what's the name of this guy? Abacha came in. Before Mashood Abiola was arrested, he had Concord. He had farms, Abiola farms.
Yes, he had bakery.
Not only that, Abiola has been given a concession to be drilling oil. There is a man called Mike Ibro. He's the owner of Guardian. Mike Ibro have a concession to drill oil. Then there is Dan Tata, not this Dangote. They gave him one. Babangida later paired up with Mark Adenuga to also have a concession, so that when Shell is drilling, Nigerians too will be drilling. But their own, they will sell it to NNPC. NNPC, which belong to Nigerian government, will refine it and sell it to Nigerians at a subsidized price. The Europeans and the Americans said no. No. The very reason why they killed Murtala is the same thing. The same problem. The man is saying that Nigerians should be in the middle of the business of big business of managing Nigeria. And the Europeans and Americans and the French and the Germans said it is they have the authority to do that over Nigeria. And if you don't have big businessmen, how can you do big business? So they also have another problem, especially Babangida and Abacha. When they were there, you see, these people, they know how to tell us lies, and we easily believe them. These people, they know propaganda very well. They said they realized that anytime they put sanction on any African country, Nigeria will say that is Nigeria will supply petrol to them. They say, so you have the crude oil, and when we put sanction, because sanction is what can cripple an economy, they decided to close down the Nigerian refinery and let you be importing the petrol. To do this, they need to remove people they call dictators. If we have a dictator, we should call her. We should know he's our dictator. Is it not the same dictatorship that made China better? Is it not dictator they have in Russia? Must we be Democrats and like Americans? And democracy, this democracy, is the thing that these people use to get to us. Why? American democracy cannot work for us. Americans must keep their democracy is not by force. We choose to do democracy. You don't force us to do, because you see, when you have politicians, look at it this way. Can you tell me the population of Nigeria by your own standard in percentage that have got gainful employment? My brother Fatai. Can you give me an estimate? In this country, I'll be talking about 85 to 90% of the people here have jobs.
In Nigeria of today, I can, well, unless there are other official statistics trying to, firstly put across certain figures, I can assure you that less than 20% of Nigerians are gainfully employed. Less than 20%.
Because when we say employ, somebody who go to Bodija to go and do baranda. When someone sell cow, he collects a little money because he helped them to move the head of the chop cow. He's also working, but that job is not gainful employment because there's no future in that job, especially when a graduate is doing that. Now, if less than 20% in Nigeria have got gainful employment, how many people in the United States of America do you think they are gainfully employed?
It's going to show that if they can accommodate us as foreigners and we are being employed, 100% of those citizens are already gainfully employed, because
So
they can
job.
So job for everybody are due for the foreigners.
Good. So in America, a lot of them have got jobs. Now, what is democracy? Mr. A says, I will do it this way, and Mr. B said, I'll do it that way. So the two of them then come, right, to the people. This one is talking, this one is talking. Then the people say, this one say he will give us free healthcare. He will create more jobs. Maybe even there will be free education. But this other one say, he's not even talking about it. And we are reminding him, and he doesn't want to talk about it. These things that are free, they are for the masses. People who are struggling with their income and they want, if they can get free education, their children will get education, quality education, without them spending too much money. So they can use their money for some other things. Can you see? Technically, these people who need that help from the states, which the government can give them, they are not mad. So this is the game. 2 candidates, 3 candidates has come. This one candidate only believe in rich people's business. If you can't pay, you can't get it. And this other one say, no, this rich people business is not good for us. So majority of the people, they will side with that one. Is that not true? The rich people, you see, if the money of the country that an ordinary man can meet his basic need and have some surplus. He said Barack Obama said what? He says he's going to give us very okay. You can even borrow money and go and donate to the party. The more they are donating to the man that doesn't have money, the more, like Donald Trump, they donate, and you see that his money is becoming big. But you see the other one, the other party, the one, the conservative, the one, the real one that are only doing rich people's business, 1 millionaire will say, I'll give you 1 million. The man that gave him 1 million, he has his plan. No? Maybe there is some hospital he want to buy, or something government is giving that he want the politicians to get there and make the law on his behalf. Can you see? So law is behind everything. So the one, if you have a country like Nigeria, while in America, majority of the average people have got some spare money to go and donate for what they believe, like in Britain. Labour Party, Conservative Party. Conservative Party in Britain, they get their donation from rich people. The Labour Party, they get their money from the union, from the poor people who want more free housing. Can you see? So people donate, because in politics is if you go into democracy, money must work, must speak, now must talk. Now you go to Nigeria. Bola Tinubu came from nowhere. How many factories has he got? Nobody knows. I don't know. He was a governor. I know he's a governor.
Let me just come in there before you continue. Thank you very much for the analysis, and I'm so glad, and I know that my people are so much happy the way you analyze Nigeria. Even you understand Nigeria more than so many Nigerians. Even though you may not agree that you are part of us, you are so blooded. That is the way I see you. Now, let's come back to our topics of today. And let us start this way. You are a special envoy advocating for ECOWAS unity and more participation from all the member countries and more dedication. And as somebody who has always been democratically fighting for the rights of ECOWAS citizens, how will you describe ECOWAS of today? Is ECOWAS democratic by existence?
Actually, that is where I'm going, and I'm doing there to prove ECOWAS is not democratic. Right? That's
Not
what I wanted to
democratic.
prove.
So any decision being taken by any ECOWAS, any decision now by ECOWAS, in essence, is not democratic and it's not legal. Because if
It's
they're
not
not
legal.
democratic, why should they take any action against member state or against any country?
It's
So,
illegal for them to take any action, and I'll explain myself. You see, what I was trying to explain in the governance of Nigeria that we couldn't finish is how the politicians get the money to do the election. If they can't get it from people directly, maybe when he was a governor of Lagos State, most of the money go to his house. Because for you to say you are a politician, you want to stand in a political party representation, you need to have some money to do in a democracy. You understand?
yes.
And then you had somebody whose source of money is questionable. Once lived in America, now he's here. This man, well, I don't know where he got his money from, but Nigerians could not have donated because majority of their people don't have the money. Either some few people in Nigeria who have got the money, where did they get the money from? Because if for you to have money, you must have industries where people are working. You understand me? So
Yeah.
where are they becoming dollar millionaires overnight?
Well, I think that should remain a discussion for another day because
now let me move on.
Hold on. Now, when I mean, we are losing the texture of this interview.
The reason why we are
now, West Africa is on tenterhooks. We are happy that as at this morning, we saw a sort of breaking news saying that the Nigerian Senate is rejecting President Tinubu's request to send military to Niger Republic. Now, that was the reason why I was asking you the action by any West African member state or collective decision by ECOWAS that if the leadership is not democratically elected, and if the citizens of West Africa are not even involved in the election of their leadership, where is the legality for them to take action against any member state or against any member government of any state?
You see,
or any country.
I was using Nigeria, but we have 15 countries in the United States of West Africa. We need to get that straight.
Yeah.
What we form called ECOWAS is the United States of West African countries.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have ended up with United Nations of West African countries. They look alike, they are not the same. United Nations, UN, has no mandate to physically attack any country because of democracy. That is why you have North Korea, they are there. Iran is there. South Korea is in United Nations. Democracy is up to you. Nobody in the United Nations has the mandate to go to any nation. Saudi Arabia is there. To go and use military force. Because they are members of United Nations, you want to go and use military force because they have put military there. It's not your business. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. What our ancestors formed in 1975 called the ECOWAS, which is supposed to be separated from the African Union and United Nations. because African Union is like you see, United Nations is association of governments, not people. So they don't want to know anything about what Nigerians think in the United Nations. It is the government of United Nigeria that will choose people to go there to United Nations. That is how they do. They don't even want to know whether you are military or you are civilian. That's your business. The only time United Nations will use emergency to go in when there is civil war in the country that nobody is in charge, or one country attack another country directly, and it should not be any member of the Security Council, which are 4. I analyzed that very well in my book. China, Russia, US, and United Kingdom. When they attack you, you are on your own. But when a country like Iraq attack Kuwait, the United Nations has the force to step in. Now, when there is war, that is now civil war, nobody is in charge, like you have in Sudan, United Nations can step in to find, because people will be dying. That is a critical emergency. Apart from that, because some people have got military, and some people say, no, they want civilian, and you come from outside to come and do that. It's only America and the Western criminals. They are those who force them people to do democracy by force. Because when you are doing that democracy, it work for them. Do you understand? Now let's come back to ECOWAS. I told you that ECOWAS is designed, in fact, ECOWAS is supposed to be like European Union. European Union is a United States of European nations, government, and the people of the country. They are all in the European Union. EU citizens are directly recognized by EU, so you can move anywhere within your union. If you have a problem with any foreign country outside EU, the EU government will be there, whether you are business or whatever, and make sure they are citizens of the EU are those benefiting within the EU. Can you see? ECOWAS is not like that. ECOWAS model around the criminals these Europeans have put there will sit down. Do you know how many children died in the Gambia? Medicine, illegal medicine they brought from India to Gambia. They've done it in Nigeria. They do it everywhere. They brought it to Gambia. Almost about 89 children, babies, they gave it to them and they died. ECOWAS said nothing. ECOWAS has nothing to do with it because that's how United Nations works. So what we are saying here is that the ECOWAS is supposed to give us the power to drive the Europeans away, create the right businessmen, the Dangotes and the Coals, and let them go into West Africa and be investing across all parts of West Africa. Can you see? And we will prosper together, because until we remove poverty from our land, and we cannot remove poverty until we make America and Europeans and their NATO respect us. You can't go to Niger. You know what they are doing in Niger? Apart from the military they have there, that is killing people they call terrorists. These are people who can't take it anymore. The French companies who are there, they are attacking them. They want them to leave the country, because how can Niger people have uranium on their land? They have oil on their land. They have coal on their land. And France is taking everything. Hey, in Niger, you can't even dig a ground without France standing there. Why are you digging the ground? Yes. What is wrong in allowing people of a country to take their own mineral? And so France will give us more money. If we don't have anything to do with our uranium, we will mine it and give it to them and sell it, and they give us a fair price, or we ask China to buy it. Tell me, what is wrong with that? In Ghana, you know we have crude oil in Ghana. They take everything. We don't get anything out of it. You in Nigeria, you think you have oil? Even your electricity that is going to Niger, it is the British and the French that are managing the electricity. They give it to them so that they will not have a need to have a dam. They are selling even electricity to all of you across West Africa. And you people say you went to school. The school. What?
My brother, thank you. I know the passion is so much. I can see it is really burning. Please, reasoning from this perspective, how would you describe Africa as a whole? is Africa actually holding its own destiny? Because war here, war there, what are the causes of these wars as is
You
happening
see,
in Sudan and other places in
I
Africa?
am not interested in Africa. I'm not interested in the United Nations of Africa. I am not.
Okay.
I am not. Because it's only a fool that is following a body you know you can. If I have a problem, and we want to do demonstration, I will go from Accra. Well, when we walk, we'll get to Abuja. It's not too far. But if you ask me to go to Addis Ababa, where am I going to get my visa from? Only my Ghana government go there. I don't want to go there. It's like telling me, be patient. Assuming we are in the United Nations, right? And I have a problem with United Nations, and I want to go to UN and go and do demonstration, right? First, I need to get visa to go to America, wouldn't I? Have you got me? It's only an idiot that will say that United Nations is where you want to go and do your demonstration. You can't even go there. They won't give you visa anyway. This is why we put the headquarters of ECOWAS. First, it was in Togo. Because of coup, we moved it to Abuja. Now, what is this ECOWAS? Remember, people in ECOWAS are two types of professionals and politicians. You see, there is the heads of states on top. When they win election in their country, it's their country they are supposed to rule. But the nature of ECOWAS, they form a kind of assembly like the heads of states. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The only problem I have is how Tinubu get there within 4 months of becoming a president. I can't get my head around that. The man is supposed to wait for 1 year and sort himself in his country first before they give him the seat. The Americans and the Europeans want him to go there because they can use that man.
Thank you very much for making this point. In essence, the action being taken by ECOWAS currently, led by Tinubu, is not of West African people's decision, but that of their predating or predators who are the colonialists. Is that
when
what
you listen to what France is saying and what France want, they want to go back and put a dictator there. I'm coming. When there was a coup in Egypt, the man that was removed in Egypt, what is his name? Oh, the man, though they are radical and they are Islamists, but they were elected into office. They remove him and they put Sisi there. Sisi, they put him there. That one was a military ruler. What did America say? It was a fine coup. Oh, so they decide good coup and bad coup. Now, you see, let's come to ECOWAS. In ECOWAS, our solution is in democracy, whether we like it or not. But how do we want to do this democracy? Now, listen, when the president of Nigeria want to go to Niger, when he want to contribute Nigerian forces to Niger, you understand? The president of Nigeria did something. As the constitution of Nigeria clearly said, before you deploy Nigerian soldiers to anywhere, Nigerians have directly, on the basis of universal adult suffrage, elected people to go to the National Assembly in the Senate. That is what the law says. You cannot move one Nigerian military officer across the border without the Senate approving it.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
We have the same thing in Ghana, in Gambia, in Sierra Leone, in Senegal. Can you see? In Niger, everywhere. But listen, the way the Nigerians voted, remember in ECOWAS we have a parliament. Yes. In that parliament, if the people of Ghana, Nigeria are directly voting now, like they do in America, from state to state, that's how they do in the European Union. To all the members of the, what do you call that thing, ECOWAS parliament, you understand? What you do, you vote for people to go to the Senate in Nigeria, and the 36 seats, they share it. American and European will say, we want this one to go, we want this one to go. I add that arm robber, what is his name? I can Remadu to it, because we know his daughter has a kidney problem. we are holding him to ransom, so you add him to it. They will then go to the ECOWAS. You people didn't choose him to go to ECOWAS. They choose themselves by their European financiers and sponsors and criminals. Then when they go there, you think they are going to work for you? We then say, why Nigerians who vote for Bola Tinubu that the whole world respect, they will be the same people to vote directly for those to go to the ECOWAS, the 35 seats they have, directly. So when something like this happen, ECOWAS Ghanaians will do the same thing. Senegalese, so the people on the street, the poor people of Niger, they will vote. They will cut it into constituency like they do in the EU. When you then vote on the basis of universal adult suffrage, without some criminals sitting in one place and choosing people for you, then Tinubu doesn't need to go to the Nigerian Senate. You know where? You know where they will go to get the mandate?
Yeah.
To go where?
From those who are paying the pipers.
No. See, in the United States of America, you look. What I'm trying to say, I want you to understand something.
The big powers that is supporting them underground.
No.
Okay.
No. I ask a question, and I'm sure our listeners will get what I'm asking you. You have a country called Nigeria.
Yes.
The people of Oyo State voted for those to go to the National Assembly. Some went to the Senate. Some of them from Anambra, some of them from Imo, some of them from Abia. They were all voting for the same people.
Yeah.
So when Tinubu want to go to war, he will not go back to Oyo State and go and ask them that, Oyo State, he will go to the National Assembly because all of you voted for them directly.
Yes.
That is democracy.
Yeah.
So if you did the same thing at the level of ECOWAS, the president of the ECOWAS Commission, ALLI Toure, on behalf of the leaders, will submit the emergency thing to the parliament you all voted for, that we want to carry military action somewhere in West Africa. That decision they will make will be at the
parliament. Yeah.
Remember, it's democratic because when you vote for people, the mandate you give them to go and be lawmakers is binding on
your behalf. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So this is the solution to the problem. The solution to this problem is not in Nigerian Senate. The solution to this problem is in ECOWAS Parliament.
Now, how will you describe the decision by Tinubu, which actually was unilateral, that he wants to send military to Niger Republic, even though on behalf of ECOWAS, but without the decision of parliamentarians in ECOWAS? How will you describe the decision?
You see, ECOWAS parliamentarians are also corrupt. All of them are corrupt. Let me be honest with you. ALLI Toure, who is the president of the ECOWAS Commission, in European Union, the position is like a prime minister. You know, the king is like the president's head of state. We have separated the position. So there is somebody like a prime minister. They call him ALLI Toure. In the European Union, you see, we copy them because it's working for them. In the European Union, she's called Ursula von der Leyen. You understand me? She will be the one on behalf of the head of state and present the bill to the parliament of EU elected by the people. In our case, our parliament of the ECOWAS was not elected by anyone because I think Kweremadu didn't make his campaign that I want to go to ECOWAS parliament. He said, I want to go to Nigerian Senate. And how can you tell me that you are going to buy me Amala? And later you end up with a Foriro and Eba. It can't work. Can you see? So there is technical issue here. Because of that, United Nations system we are using, it cannot work here. And let me be honest with you. Tinubu, you understand, is under pressure to send.
From where?
Of course, France and America. Let me tell you what's happening there.
In that sense, they are dictating.
You see in Niger.
Yeah.
You see in Niger, there is American base there with drones. They have full military facilities there. And France is also having military facilities there, and they are mining. Look at what is at stake. The Germans are there with their soldiers. It's like NATO. Canada is there. Belgium is there on that land. Britain is there. They are all there with weapons.
Looting.
Eh?
Looting.
Well, they are in a special operation. They are doing their version of special operation. So the Nigerian politicians who was removed, they turn blind eye. They pretend they don't know because their own children are going to school in Europe and France. So these people who cannot take it anymore while they are taking, it's like, you think of Nigeria, they take all your oil away and you get nothing for it. How will you feel? Before you know, even you see the Mossop, all these people in Ogun area, they are fighting. Why? Because the oil, they can't see the benefit of that oil export that in their life. Is it then you call them terrorists? You call them terrorists? Solve the problem. The France must leave. These people who have done the coup, you know what they are saying? They are saying, one, France must leave. France will not mine uranium or oil or coal again on their land. And all the lights, all the factory, all the electricity, all the nuclear facilities in France, it is this uranium they use. Do you understand the complication?
Yes.
So if these military officers drive them away, Americans will have to remove their military facilities. British will leave because they've driven them away from Guinea, from Burkina Faso, from Mali. This is another place they are living. They tell them pack and leave. Do you know that since these military people took over, the attack and the Islamists are stopped? Have you heard them fighting? No. What the Wagner group is doing, let me tell you what Wagner group is doing. The Wagner they brought in, you understand?
Yeah.
All along, the ones handling the complicated, and that's where I want to let you know that you better start calling your people to start, and I'm seriously with you, doing their own demonstration to tell Bola Tinubu to back off. Now, let me tell you, we in Ghana, we have started. We support the coup plotters, leave them alone. We support them. We empathize with them. What they are doing, if you push people to the wall, that is what they are going to do. So we are not bothered. Give them time to sort themselves out. You do not
a different message is being sent to the world from the perspective of the West media, as if a democratically elected government is being hosted in Niger Republic. And many people are buying into this mentality.
When a democratically elected leader is removed in Niger, is Niger France? Is Niger America?
That is the question. But with the way you said this earlier on, we are not in control of our destiny as West Africans because
I'm coming. Taliban, in Afghanistan, they say they don't want to even wear shoes again. They want to wear their turban and everything and make their women sleep at home. Are they not doing it? Is it not their country? Everybody has left them alone. They beat people every week. Is that democratic? Why is the one in Niger now a big problem for the world? Look, we know what they are doing. They use the media to enforce the will of international criminal. They call it international community. That is not international community. These are international criminals, armed robbers. What we are saying is, look at it. You see, Guinea, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. The Russians are on the ground already, and weapons have come in long time, and they are training the boys how to use it. Get that straight here. The training, they've already declared that when you attack Niger, they will declare war. And you know how the war is going to be fought? You see, the way we know you, because if you are on their side, the federal government of Nigeria and Ghana and the Republic of Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Cote d'Ivoire, these are the countries that the imperialists are using. Do you understand me? And the other ones are those who are saying no to the imperialists. So the West Africa is divided. That's why I told you I don't want to do Africa. We want to fight in West Africa to solve this problem once and for all. Now look at how the war is going to be. You see, Nigerians are not ready for any war. No. It is some people from Maduguri, they'll go and wear military uniform for and push them in front like the way they did in Libya. And NATO will be in the sky shelling. That is what they are going to do. They are not going, Nigeria is not going to anywhere. They will use Nigerian military uniform, Senegal military uniform, and go and get some malam, and dress them and put them in front. So you would think you are fighting this malam. To be honest with you, you'll be getting bombs in the sky. Because NATO, if you attack the interests of France, you are attacking the interests of EU 27, plus US, plus Canada, plus Australia. So it's a big war they've declared. Now see, what these guys are going to do, they will not throw their own missile when you attack Niger. They are not going to throw their own, cluster bombs, the dangerous one that even Russia is scared of using. They are all there already. When they throw a bomb from the sky, they thought what they did in Libya. This time they get away with it. In Niger, Guinea and Mali, Mali in particular.
Yeah.
Mali share border with Senegal. The bomb will go into Senegal straight. Straight. When they don't throw it at, because we don't have problem with Europeans, we have a problem with our brothers. You sit down there, don't go and do the demonstration, you will see. You see, then from the Guinea, you see, from Mali and Guinea, the bombs will be going straight into Senegal and Gambia, straight. And Guinea-Bissau, all the criminal states. Then you see, from Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, they get their share, including Cote d'Ivoire. You see, from Mali and Guinea, they share border, and Burkina Faso, they share border with Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. That is where the missiles will be, and Togo. That is where the missile will be coming onto you. And you in Nigeria, the missiles will be coming from Niger, inside Nigeria. And the Europeans will not even give you Patriot missiles to be blocking them. These are the training the Wagner groups are giving these guys. If you think you are going to support monsters out of ignorance to come and kill us, boy, this is a time to take sides. We don't have a choice. You want to fight.
KOFFI ALLI, how do we handle this dangerous situation? Because when you look back into the Libya issue, when the G20, G7 were doing their meetings, I remember vividly that only Ghana stood against that war in Libya, because both the Workers' Union and the Students' Union, they rose in one unity, demonstrating for a whole week in Ghana that Africa should be left alone and Africa should be left to hold its own destiny. And I remember Jacob Zuma and some leaders in Africa were traveling, canceling all the G7 leaders, chasing them from one place to another, wherever they were holding meeting, and begging them, please, it is an African affairs. Leave first to it and we'll handle it. But eventually, these leaders who are Africans were snubbed as if they were never, ever relevant to what was happening. And we're talking about an African affairs. Now, eventually, what happened? They had their way and they destroyed Libya. Up to now, Libya is yet to recover. And that now puts across the world that we as Africans, or we as West Africans, as we said, you want to vote for Ecowas, we have never been holding our destinies in our hands. We have been controlled remotely from elsewhere. And that is always very inimical to our progress and for the generations coming. How do we handle this now as a continent in Africa and as a part continent in West Africa? How do we shield away this forceful taking over of our resources, of the divide and rule that is being invoked in order for them to be able to overrun us, putting some people, giving them power and influence and money and security so that they can sell us. Because when I hold a program, I always tell our people, we are still under a new version of slave trading. Yeah. And all these parliamentarians, all these senators, all these House of French members that we have, all the governors, in the case of Nigeria, which I'm part of, we've never ever seen any senator or any house member or any governor, even when Yorubas are being killed here and there, when the Niger, when the Wind towns are being killed here and there, even when no senator was even coming out to even say, please stop killing our people. These people, all they do, go there, take 35 million pounds, 35 million naira every week, every month, and then go to their home. They never vote for the people. And now, with the way things are now, how can the people fight back to get their destinies into their hands? Because what we are seeing now is a new generation of slave trading, and our people are not getting the message. How do we move on from here as a people, as Africans? Do we have life at all?
Well, you see, we are saying that when we want to solve a problem, we should be clear about what we want to solve. I've told you the solution. We must fight to have a right to vote for the right people or people by the people to go and represent them in Abuja. I've explained that. Whether they are corrupt or not, you understand? Corruption is something we can never remove. Nobody can remove it unless we want to put bullets on people's head. You can't remove it. But what you can do is to stop our own leaders and politicians from being the errand boys of European and Americans. Let them.
How do we handle this, KOFFI ALLI? How do we do this? Because people, they have power, they have money.
They don't have. Who have power?
The politicians.
Oh, because see.
People have been. Let me tell you, KOFFI. People have been seriously impoverished.
You have been impoverished. Let me be honest with you. You see, I'm going back to where we started. Nigeria alone has a population. The whole of West Africa, we have almost 320 to 350 million. Nigeria alone has 170 million.
Over 2 million.
Good.
So
if Nigerian population is almost as one country, almost nearly the size of half of West Africa, right? Any people who control Nigeria, they control the whole of West Africa. So the way forward is to cripple Nigerians, twist their brain, make them total imbeciles.
Which is what is happening anyway.
When you succeed in turning Nigerians into mad people, the whole of West Africa will be mad people. That is what we are having here. Nigeria is in their pockets. Your politicians have been turned into buffoons because the power you need is not only in Nigeria, it's across West Africa. And when we say, this is why Ecowas was formed. But when we say, let us talk about United States of West Africa, which is ECOWAS, you people want to talk about Africa because you have been told to talk about United Nations of Africa. So we are, even between us, we are divided. When your brother say white and you say black, where are we going? Let us be clear what we are talking about. We don't want to do Africa again. In fact, we are going to suspend our membership of African Union and United Nations if possible. And when we finish,
you mean Ghana or ECOWAS?
I'm talking, you see, when I say we, I told you I side and empathize with the coup plotters. Because this democratic fraud cannot continue. They have taken their destiny into their own hands. And I empathize with them. I support them. Because as a Democrat, Mandela was a Democrat too. Mandela was a Democrat. But when you have a rotten system of corrupt people, let me ask you a question. The Constitution of Nigeria was very clear. It said, the president of Nigeria shall never pay tax. But the senators, the chief justice, the judges, the people, everyone will pay tax. That is the law of Nigeria. and everyone will pay tax to the federal government of Nigeria. We have the same law in Ghana. Can you see? In ECOWAS, which is an authority, that ALLI and the member of the commission and the parliamentarians, those fake ones, who are they not paid salary or they are working for free?
Definitely they'll be paid.
Who do they pay their tax to?
Well, I think if there is any if there is any governing body that manages ECOWAS, then those are the people that should be taking.
Listen, ECOWAS itself, the authority of ECOWAS is like federal government of Nigeria. The difference is that, like European Union, there are so many countries inside.
Why is Nigeria taking so much influence? Is it because of the financial power they have over ECOWAS?
You see, Nigeria, there's something you have to understand about Nigeria. And in life, you see, the fingers are not equal. When the British created Nigeria, maybe they thought of something like this. Within Nigeria, those people are fighting themselves. But it's like bringing about 10 countries together into one. Different people. And you pitch them against each other. So they inside that Nigeria, within Nigeria, but there's one thing. Because of their size as a political body, they are a force against anyone from outside Nigeria. And that force allow Nigeria to have a weight, even on the African continent, talk less of ECOWAS. Because of that weight, anyone who control Nigeria control all West Africa at the least. Because when they go to, you see, Ethiopia have got about 77 million people or 80 million people. What do you call this country? Egypt, almost about 80 million people or 90 or 100 million. Then when you go to South Africa, they are technologically advanced. They will stand there and tell Nigeria to back off when you come to the continent. You understand? In West Africa, who can tell Nigeria to back off? We are the biggest one after Nigeria is Ghana. The population of Ghana is not even up to Lagos and Ogun State together. So what are we talking about? But the Americans saw this advantage like the British prepared it. Look, you are going to play football team, right? And your country is a football team. Somebody created your team for you. The British created that Nigeria. They created that Ghana. The reason why the French are doing the nonsense they are doing in Niger, because they created it. And we say, let us create our own ECOWAS so that we will create what we want to do. And then you people do not want to see. The question I ask you, if our mind, the reason why Nigerian government even listen to you is because every day you wake up as Nigerians, somebody somehow is questioning what they are doing in that Nigeria. Is that not true? Yes. Someone somehow believe they are entitled to something from Nigeria and Nigeria must give it to them, whether they like it or not, whether they earn it or they are Nigerians and they are entitled to it. Is that not true? Who do that with ECOWAS? Nobody, except KOFFI ALLI. Nobody cares. The Europeans realize our mind is not there. They planted. Do you know that in ECOWAS, because of corruption, the most corrupt institution in the world God has ever created is ECOWAS? Very, very corrupt. See, 70 to 80% of the staffs that are working at the commission, they are paid because they are what we call charities. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the donor funders pay their salary. United Nations pay some of them. EU pay some of them. United Kingdom pay some of them. The multinational corporations have a way of diverting money to pay them. Now, see, if the president of the ECOWAS Commission want to send a file through the normal channel, it will take 1 year before it gets to the next department. But when it put it through the United Nations, the CIA agents in the ECOWAS, they will send it to Washington to read it. They send it to the European Union to read it. If they are happy, it will go to the next office. If they are not, it will be in that office for 10 years. So the departments of ECOWAS are not even working with one another. If the EU don't say yes, you don't go there.
KOFFI, ALLI,
Is it for them or it's for us?
asking the question again. How do we get out of this logjam of political pollution in West Africa?
You see.
How do we get out? Because right now, we understand that we are not in control of our destiny. We have been completely contaminated. Those who are our leaders are being controlled from outside of the West African coast. When decisions being taken is not to the advantage of we citizens of West Africa. Everything now is going helter-skelter, hunger everywhere.
They polluted all the countries.
Now, all countries in West Africa polluted. Now, Nigeria is carrying a big weight. If today you meet face to face with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, how will you open his mind to understand that we are slaves on our own continent?
I don't need to tell Bola Tinubu this. He knows. You see, when you see Tinubu, right, go to Abuja. Half the people there, they are Americans. Go there. You go there. Half the people in Abuja, you see, most of them NGO, they are all paid by CIA, Wallahi, and EU. Ahmed Tinubu himself, when he's going out, the people you see around him, even when they are black people, most of them are either Nigerians born in America.
They are American oriented, American brain.
Either they are Nigerian born in America or people who are black people in America.
That is
the
the
reason
game,
why you can't see them is because of their
they
skin
call them
color.
the coconut, white inside, black outside, yeah.
You see, because of their skin color, you can't see. If it's a white man, you see like in Zimbabwe. These ones are people that look like you. Some of them just went to the little thing they go chop with their most horrible life where they live. They gave them, you see, you remember the temptation of Jesus Christ? It was some little thing they showed, the devil showed him and he said no. In this case, our devils are collecting it. Our own Jesus Christ are collecting the devil's money. Now wait, let me explain something to you, understand me. You see, medicine, right? For some sickness is very bitter. But the temptation not to take it is very high. But when you take that medicine, you are likely to cure yourself. You understand? The church is a place like the mosque for you to go and mobilize yourself like they did in the colonies of America to free themselves. Can you see? It's a place to mobilize like your platform. But remember, that church, you can go there and be praying if you don't know what you are doing, and God will never accept your prayer. If we know what we are doing, we don't need to go and meet Bola Tinubu. It's a demonstration. I'm coming. Ododua, when you wanted your independence, did you go and meet Buhari and Tinubu?
No.
Where did you do it?
We know it's our inalienable right, so we have to go for it.
You don't understand.
It's our right.
You don't understand me. When you know your right, you understand that this thing is my right. You don't need to go and beg somebody that, I've come to beg you to give me my right. You understand? You will not even talk to that person. Mobilize the people. Get them to start demonstrating. Like we told you right now. We told you that there will be some bombs on your cities. And these missiles, like you see, Ukraine will be one place and throw it far away. Russia will be far away. All your Abuja and your Lagos, they will get some of it too. And Americans don't care. So, like when we spoke to the people in Ghana, they've started their demonstration that their government should not be involved in this nonsense. Leave these coup plotters alone. Wagner and then what? Why are you worried about Wagner Group? The French are there, Americans are there. Are they not soldiers? Oh, so when their own soldiers are there, it's all right. But when the Russian soldiers are there, it's bad. Is that not what they are telling you?
Of course.
We then said all foreign soldiers should leave our land. And France said they will not even live with their soldiers. Rather, they will fight us. And Tinubu, you see, why? Let me tell you, let me get your mind to something. The only reason why we are mentioning Ahmed Tinubu's name, and let me be very clear, is because he's the president, the chairman of the Ecowas. Can you see? Because that's all. There's nothing again. Now, If the president of Ghana or the president of Senegal is the chairman, he will say what Tinubu said. You understand?
Yeah.
So the problem is not directly Tinubu. He was put there, we believe, because it is so miraculous. When the president of Ghana, Akufo-Addo, won the election in Ghana, he said he quickly wanted to be the chairman of Ecowas because the seat was becoming vacant. And they told him, no, this seat now is going to Togo. You have just won election, sort your country out. 1 year later, they gave it to him. Do you understand me? He wanted to, as soon as he won in Ghana, he wanted to quickly go to ECOWAS. They say, no. There is a system that will make you to get it. It's not your turn, it's the man in Togo. This CIA man that you call your president, before he settled down in Nigeria, the first thing he did was to remove the subsidy that poor people are benefiting from. Because Americans told him to do it. Kill Nigerians so that more people will be at home. They can't travel. The cost of life will be difficult for them. If they are frustrated, then their brain will not work again. Do it.
Do you know how long Nigerians have been going through this? More than 50 years, we've been so subjected to humiliation, deprivation, subjugation. I do realize how much, what more can people go through? I keep wondering. This resilience of Nigerians is, I don't think there's any nation across the world, any people across the world that can ever match the resilience of Nigerians. Because from one pain to another, from one tears to blood, from one blood to overflow, nothing has ever bent.
Hello. Let me ask you a question.
I do not understand.
You see,
what many countries take?
How many countries apart from Nigeria have you lived in West Africa?
Well,
maybe seriously.
I know the same thing resonates across. I understand that.
Your cry is our cry. We too, we have the same problem where we come from.
We carry a bigger weight.
Don't carry. See.
You said Nigeria's population itself, the weight of Nigeria is upon the entire West Africa. So we should be a leader in fighting for the rights and for the freedom of West Africans.
We don't like making our problem Nigeria. We don't want to encourage that. When you tell someone he's a big man, then he started trying to behave like big man. Before you know, you don't exist. We don't want that language. We
are not boasting. You said earlier on that Nigeria is upon the entire West Africa. You said it.
Be patient. You did not choose to be born a Nigerian. You just found yourself there.
That's true.
The man born in Togo did not choose to be born in Togo. He will find himself there. The man in Niger found himself there. The man in the Gambia. So what, is it a crime to be born in a small country and you be born in a big country? Are you now going to use your big country to now start telling us that our problem doesn't exist? We are talking about our problem together because they are connected. Let me give you a good example. Car making. You know how cars are made. Car is like this mobile phone. There are so many parts.
Yes.
And the parts are from different factories. Not from
division
one
of labor, yes.
Good. If you have 36 states in Nigeria, and Nigeria want to make a car, Nigeria can say, oh, you, Teogbade in Ibadan, be doing brake pad. You, in Anambra, be doing battery. You, Kaduna, do tire. You. Then they will give them investment across the whole of Nigeria. Every state will have a share. When they finish, there will be one place. They say all these cars made, every part must be assembled in this Lagos. Then the assembly plant will be in Lagos. Anyone who doesn't know how the system works would think the car is made in Lagos. He doesn't know that the part has been distributed across Nigeria. So every state then will be encouraged to go into scientific research and be making the what do you call it, improving on the making of that car, right? When they finish the making of the car, as soon as it's ready, federal government then will say, every state must buy this car. If we are giving any federal government person a car, this is the car you have. But when you choose to import car from outside, we'll put tax on it. Because this car you see, all the parts have created job for Nigerians. And every state, because the part they make, they will sell it to the manufacturer. Can you see? And apart from that, car making, you see the part, like this phone. If I buy this phone, can you see? The maker of the phone, when my screen, the front spoil, the maker, the factory, the brand is the one who sell the front for me. You understand? So when you are driving Toyota and a part of Toyota is spoiled, the factory in Japan is the one that will make that part for you. Good. Now see you. In Japan, they have so many of these factories. Now, in your case, if the car is made and all the parts are made in Nigeria and assembled in Nigeria, the Ghanaians will say they don't have money to buy the car. Actually, the Germans want to give them a car on loan or free. So they want that one, and it's even better. Togolese will go out because they don't have money. You made all your car. You sell your car to yourself. They will import all the cars. You have 170 million people. Assuming 20% of you are buying the car made in Nigeria. Can you see? Boy, if you bring 300 million people together to say, okay, now, for every 4 parts that will be produced inside Nigeria, because they for every part that will be given any part, any country, Nigeria will get 4 equivalent because they are bigger. So what they will do is that they'll say, okay, now the battery, we want it to be in Ghana. The windscreen, put it in Senegal. This, put it there. So they will spread the parts across West Africa. Nigeria, because of the size, like we did with the Parliament of
Ecowas, the assembly grants.
The assembly grant can be in Togo. Nobody cares. Can you see? Remember, that will not say that some people who will be making some special car, if they have their money privately, will not be making their car and sell it for people who want to buy. You understand?
Yeah.
But the one the Ecowas will focus on, not Nigerian government this time, Ecowas. So when the car is ready, you in Ghana, all your tire you make that will be used for the car is exported to where they are going to assemble it. So all the parts will be moving. Drivers will have job. Drivers will have job. Cleaners will have job. People who work in the factory will have job. Everybody will have some form of job because in their country, something about the car is produced.
Exactly.
They will buy the car when it's ready because they are by law, their government cannot buy any car from outside. That is ECOWAS law. This is the kind of ECOWAS we want. But the way you are looking at the problem, forever and ever will be importing car from Europe and America. And this car business, let me tell you the truth, it is politics.
Of course.
It is politics. Why are the Russians car? The Russians make a car called Lada. It's not in Western Europe. The Chinese just forced to bring their own car in. It's called MG. So that their own children will be making money in their country. And they said their parents will be making money and send their children to school here. Our children, when they come to school here, people don't have money to send from home. So they spend more time cleaning white man toilet. When are you going to learn? Ale to ye ko wanle ko simi ko kawe ko sorire o nu igbe nikan igba lo kawe ko to pada sile opolo o ti baje to ba je pada sile gan o le lo loja.
Brother me eshe gidi gani. My conversation today has been with a very unique person on West African affairs by name ABDUL-YEKIN. KOFFI ALLI. He is a well-known advocate of ECOWAS rights, and he has been educating us more about our politics in Nigeria. He's been talking more to us about the dilemma we have as West Africans, as Africans, and he's the one who is educating us now that actually the way we are as of today, we are not in control of our destiny because our life is not lived in West Africa. Our life is lived everywhere where we are being turned into slaves. And our life has endangered the future of those generations coming. Now, if you have any idea, or if you think you have picked a point from what has been discussed with us, please give us a call and let us share your ideas. We are having about 30 more minutes to go. because I want to make it a point of duty from now on to be hosting our brother maybe once every month, if he so desires. But something must happen. We are right now on tender hooks. If eventually the NATO, as you said, forces Ecowas to go to Niger Republic, what do you think is going to be the eventual consequence? Because you have told us when bombs are being thrown from the top, is going to sprinkle into so many other nations of West Africa. So which means the entire West Africa is in danger. Now, how do we, you are trying to advocate earlier on that we as Nigerians, we should try and make sure we dissuade Tinubu from taking this action. And when you were talking to me yesterday, you were asking me the question, why are Nigerians in diaspora not in the embassy protesting this so that the entire world can know that we don't support it? Could you please emphasize more on this?
Yes, you see, wherever you are, when there is a problem and you are a citizen of a nation, where you are in your own way, you will play your part.
That's
right now, a lot of us, like me, I will have wished to be on the street of Accra, Ghana, organizing people to tell our own government that we don't want our military to be part of this nonsense. If Europeans want to go and kill some people, we want to see them. Let them go to Niger. White people in their planes shelling our land. Alhamdulillah. But our brothers, our own military uniform must not be used. Our flag must not be used. We don't want to be
If I may remind you, KOFFI, you remember when Gaddafi was being chased around to be killed? The impression given was that the Libyan military or the Libyan opposition party was the one that was in charge. But the day he was bombed and he was arrested, these were French soldiers with helicopter and airplane arresting him, which goes to show that many of the bombs being thrown from the area was being flown by the French pilots. So what you are saying in essence, that if this war starts in West Africa now, the flies are going to be coming through, maybe from Europe to West Africa, while they are putting uniform in some Almanjiri body and pretending as if we are the one that is fighting us. I read in one of the newspapers here yesterday, they said West Africa is bracing up war against Putin. Is it West Africa? Because that is the pressure being created within the community here, as if the ECOWAS is the one that wants to go and wage war against the military takeover in the Niger Republic. How do we, all this contamination of information and all this mismanagement of information to us is actually affecting, because many of us, we cannot reason deeply to understand that there is something called propaganda. And that is when you keep hammering and hammering on certain issues, even though it's lies and falsehood, people will suck it in and think it's the truth because it's continually being drummed into your ear and your brain can no longer resist it. Now, how do we educate West Africans to understand that what is coming into West Africa through this NATO using ECOWAS is going to be a big doom for our future and for even those already we are impoverished. There is hunger everywhere. Even in Nigeria today, more than 80% of the population is hungry. And there is nothing, no electricity, no infrastructure development. All we can see is sheer talking and no agenda, no any principle that we have to follow, no any program that can give us hope. And yet, many of us are still criticizing the Niger Republic and urging Tinubu to go and wage war against the Niger Republic. How do we reorientate our people against all this contamination of information, contamination of brain? Because already many of us, as you said earlier on, they will put you in a hedge whereby they will suffer you, make you hungry until your brain is completely dysfunctioning. How do we get out of this problem? Because we are human. We are all created a creation of God. Why is it that we as Black people, why do we have to go through this? And yet, our people's eyes are not opening.
You see, it's just like the movement you guys are promoting. There are so many people who are Yorubas. They are not interested in what you are doing. They even call you name. They do everything to you. But you have seen the light. And you have seen the awareness. And you have seen that if you don't do something, because you believe there is injustice in whatever come into Nigeria, you believe there's injustice to you, that you are not getting a fair share, no matter how little. So you are not taking that nonsense. You see, when you are going to be, what do you call it, enslaved, it starts with violence. But what keeps you as a slave is propaganda. Propaganda, repeating it, keeping you in the box where you are. In your case, you see, sorry, in our case here, they listen to them. Oh, you just said something. The whole news is propaganda, is spinning. Ecowas is not fighting anyone. The Europeans are those who are fighting with the people of Niger. Let's be clear.
Who are facing the Russian influence in Niger?
No, it's not Russia. It's not Russia.
And that is what I said. That is what the British paper.
This is what they will tell. So if they said that, they say you are a member of international community. What international community, for God's sake? What is international community? Does international community means we should do democracy, that we are suffering and we continue? Are we mad? So this, they say they are going to fight for. I said earlier, American soldiers are there.
French soldiers are there.
French soldiers, British, all of them are there.
British.
They are there. They are shooting and killing people. They live like gods. If you see any black person like you among those soldiers, he's their toilet cleaner from Niger. Yes, they come from their country. They live like gods. In the days of colonization, all they need is to get is 1 or 2 countries, and then they use us to fight anyone who is rebelling. They will go there and fight and kill and slaughter them and remove their chief and deport him to foreign land. This is how they created the colonies. But today, people are becoming enlightened and aware.
Yeah, of course.
But their awareness, because there is internet, there is this, so the media is spreading. The propaganda is becoming a bit loose, because someone in Niger 50 years ago may never have seen television before. You can count the people in Nigeria who have seen television. They've never, so they live in rural areas. These people now have having access to life. So there is a level of awareness. So the problem in the 1960s, you see, the leaders are divided too. The leaders themselves in West Africa, they are divided. So someone is someone that in 1960 they are divided. That's why the OAU was formed. But you see, those of us who have the time, we should be changing the narratives. Can you see? Because when some people are telling lies, American lies, European, in America, even the film they do, the CIA is part of their filmmaking, so that they pollute and manipulate your mind. You'll be looking at them like this and you'll be suffering. That's why we all grew to want to go to United States of America.
Exactly.
We all grew. Everybody want to go. Most of us even dead.
As Nigerians, why is it that, even though that is where it's part of our dream and part of our goal to make us completely independent and plan for start a Yoruba nation from ground zero, so that we can make our nation great again the way it was in the olden days. You spoke about going on the streets somewhere in Ibadan, and some youths were fighting over each other. And when you listen that got closer to them, you realize that they are fighting over Arsenal, Manchester United.
Yeah.
Why is it that the Nigerian mentality, as big as Nigeria is, or the youths of Nigeria, why are they not thinking about creating an Arsenal inside Nigeria that they can always eulogize and celebrate and always create? Not knowing that many of these things they are doing is trying to economically empower those countries. That is also, this is part of the propaganda that we are talking about. We don't
see,
have lost everything.
no. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
Because no life. No life.
You see, a citizen is like a child. The elders are the politicians. They create the enabling environment and the people will move along.
Of course.
But when the politicians have been caught, in other words, they are all in chains. When they misbehave, they take them to Europe. Do you know a man called Charles Taylor? He's in prison here, he's in Belmarsh. Gbagbo is in France. Belgium, they put him in prison when they say no to Europeans. This used to be happening in the colonial time when the chief said no. Now it's happening to the people who are saying no to Europeans. So we understand this game. Liberian Sierra Leone war, there was a reason. Yes, we are not stupid. But you know something? We have a duty to understand the game we are also playing, because it's not a game of fools. We understand. See, someone who has spent the whole morning, a graduate, reading newspaper because he can't afford it, he has no job, and is in a filth, half naked, suffering under the sunshine, because of one cow head or cow tail that he will get to go and sell to earn his living for the day. And out of that, he created some little time to go and have some fun, thinking about Arsenal. Do you blame that man? Do you blame that man, or you blame me, KOFFI ALLI, who till now have not been able to find a way of convincing all of you to understand that? You see, look at your case. You have a movement. In that movement, with all the kind of people you have, with everything, you choose one man, Sunday Igboho, you put him in front. This man is also there risking his life. Everybody is eating it from. But you have a clear leader who know what you want and you believe, that's how to fight imperialists. That is how to fight against oppressors. Even within Nigeria. That is, but if, let me tell you what you said something. You say, why are they not going to create their own Arsenal? What is Arsenal? A football team.
Okay.
Good. What is a football team? What do they produce? Nothing.
Nothing. Just
they entertain people. The history of football is what I want to share with you. Football started as people who are working in the coal mine. The mine, inside the coal mine. When they are working, they struggle and suffer. So when they have time to rest, some of them then will put their clothes down, tie it, and start kicking it. And the idea came that, wow, some people are even ready to bet for who will win and who will lose. And they started supporting each other. And that is how the evolution of football got to where it is now. Remember, they are coal miners. That is the tangible work they've done. Some are farmers, some are this. You must be in a factories working. Then you go for entertainment. You don't use entertainment as a source of what the whole population or everybody want to be entertaining. It doesn't work that way. The factories must produce the food. When you are being entertained, people will be drinking alcohol. Some have some extra money to bet. Some have money to do this. Some do. So these factories is what we have not been able to build. All the teams, Abiola baby is gone. Is it the one in Ibadan, ICC, is gone. I don't even think they still have football team again. Even the football stadium is gone. Why? Because there are three things you need. You must be free if you want to control your destiny. Three things. Number 4, I'll tell you about number 4, which is behind them all. Number 1, you need to be politically independent. Number 1, your politicians must be free to look at God in the face and tell him what they think. Number 2, you must be economically independent. And politicians cannot be politically independent if they are not economically independent. Because everything a politician promises you is an economic item. I'll build a house, I'll build a road, I'll build a hospital. These are economic things. If he doesn't have it, how can he give it to you?
And it's rhetorics anyway.
Sir,
And semantics.
Number two, that is why they tell you lies every day. And you are waiting for the pie to come from the sky. So the politicians, they have good mouth. Then they'll make you to believe they can make available those things that you need as human beings to live, basic needs of life at the least, jobs. The third one they promise that you need if you want to be economically independent. Is to be it to be technologically independent. So there are three types of independence you need. Political independence, which is impossible without economic independence. Economic independence, which is impossible without technological independence. Because it's the technology that converts raw materials into finished products that you need. These three, all these three, one thing is behind all of them. When you talk about politics, you are talking about law. Without law, politics cannot work. It will be anarchy. So your laws must be very clear. You must have solid lawmakers, and they are always politicians. Without law, economics cannot work. If you buy something from me and I buy from you, and we don't have a common understanding because of the position of the law, we'll end up fighting. You understand?
Yeah.
And technology, you see, do you know why we don't take technology serious in West Africa? Let me tell you the secret. Because of international trade, where import is coming outside, we are importing so much.
It is the way we are modeled by the so-called big powers.
You see.
We are
the reason why we are modeled.
We are meant to be consuming nations so that they can suppress all our creative abilities, and so that they can make us to be dysfunctioning in our system, so the entire world can refer to us as buffoons who can't even do anything.
Good.
And many of the inventions across the world today are by us, but they take it over and brand it.
Not, my brother. The invention of yesterday, we are not talking about. We are talking about the invention of tomorrow. We want to go to space. We don't want to go to NASA before you go. Let us talk about now and the future. Forget about the past. Look at something. You remember the reason why the Europeans came to your land as they did to the Americans is because of raw material. I think your mind doesn't go to that. What is France doing in Niger? They are not interested in Niger. They are interested in the raw uranium. They don't care what happened to the people of Niger. It's the uranium they need for their own factories in France. Can you see? This is why they form all the colonies. They are not interested in Nigeria. They only want the oil, and whatever they can get out of you, they take it all and go and produce it and give you chicken change. So the technology you don't have is why you are dependent on them. If I'm going to fight with you, and we are fighting, and I'm using gun to shoot you, you two are scared of dying, and I'm using gun to shoot you, what am I using to shoot you? Is it not technology? You don't. If you have a gun, you shoot me too. You understand?
Yes.
If you have a knife, which is a technological thing, you shoot me too. Then I make you, because you are scared of dying and I have what you don't have, then I continue to use it to bully you, and I start making you work for me. Anything you get, bring it to me, because I have a gun. You don't have a gun. Does it make sense? If we can, do you know that when we even buy gun from Russia or from China, Europeans want to know what we have bought. Do you know in Nigerian Defense Academy, the CIA are there? Fatai?
I know.
You see, you when Teni Obama Jini to kọlu àìsàn tó ń ṣe, ayoma ya wèrè pẹ́. You see, what is killing you? You people don't know what is killing. Your mind is not there.
Many of us know, but we are just few in number, so we can't carry the weight.
You see, the few that know, Jesus Christ was not 1 million people. It's one man, and he was able to go out there. He took time. He preached his gospel, but that gospel eventually today, the gospel have moved beyond his life. The same with Muhammad. The same with Moses. My brother, we just have to learn to understand each other and know what is at stake. Nobody want to die. Nobody want to die. We all want to go to McDonald's. What is wrong in having you and your children going out and having good time? but you need the money and you have to work. Money is paper, the paper of law to allow economic activities to take place. We don't need dollar. We don't need their money. We don't need euro. We print our own money and use it. But our factories must be running. Do you understand me? We sell surplus to them. Why do we produce an item that we don't even call? In fact, there are more Ghanaian food and Nigerian food in London than you can have in Lagos or Accra. Where the food is produced, the best one comes here. Something is wrong because we all want to buy their car. Can you understand me?
Yeah.
So, you see, we need to understand, hey, this is why when some of you say, let us do traditional dressing, we say, no. Let us learn to make the suit the way they are sewing it and let's wear it. Because, you see, our traditional one is an expression of our technological advancement. The reason why we can wear this one is because we are importing them. Why don't we sew it too? Then when we start showing, look. I remember Sonny Ade when he was singing about Agbe Agbugba Omolansa Loko.
Okay, yeah.
When you are using manual implement, because that is what your technology allow you, cutlass and hoe, your production will be very, very low. You have so many people on the farm wasting their time. The food chain is better than just the farm. When you have mechanized by tractors made in West Africa, where farmers can even go to bank and collect loan, all you need is a good land. And the law are controlling the land that no European can buy a land. If you are not from West Africa, you cannot buy a big land. You can't even buy a land. You can only rent a land. You can't. Hey. Then if they can't buy a land, where are they going to get license to be mining oil? If we can make the machine ourselves, we don't need them again. They know that. And you guys, I can't see things that way. You see, China was in our position before. They fought with China. They did everything. China, even India. Wallah, you see, when we start what we want to do, we will be so fast that we will catch up and beat India. You want to go to NASA. The whole of West Africa, we have our own station. Do we need to go to America to get visa to bed them? In China, they go to NASA. Do you know Chinese go to space on their own? Yes, they have space station. Russia go on their own. Even Europeans don't want to be following their own American brothers. Why is it they've not even added us to the list of the people who are going yet? We are looking at them and we are begging. Are we dogs? Why must we beg our fellow human beings? Who are they? So let me be honest with you. Our problem is because we don't seem, you see, when we had independence, we are still relatively young in this game. You understand? Yes. Relatively, but even those who want to make the effort, they kill them. Those who want to do the they kill them. Dictators created China. Nobody should threaten us with dictator. Well, like Chinese, there's no even democracy there. They go to China and see prosperity. So why are we sitting here and then we are pretending that we don't even know ourselves? Europeans and Americans know us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah, because they model us anyway. They mold us the way they want us to be.
This is why Jesus Christ started talking about you have to be born again. Born again must mean something.
Nígbà tó bá ń ṣe divide and rule, tó káwọn kan tó fún wọn ní fortune, tó fún wọn. They are going to bring forward to themselves are people who they are non-entities who don't even understand. So àwọn ojú ọ̀rọ̀ lárí tán kó ara wọn ní ọlárí ìyọnu wọn á fà wọn mọ́ra wọn á gbé influence dé wọn lọ́wọ́. And when this happens, they get carried away thinking they are you know.
You see,
how do we get out of this?
Be patient. You see, I've always said something. God don't create leaders. People create leaders. Honestly. If it is God who creates leaders, so many people will not be leaders. Especially when you have democratic environment. That is why we say we want democracy, because the military were taking over the power by gun. And we say, no. let the best man emerge. How do you know who is good? Let me ask you a question. Fatai Ogunribido said A, Kofi Ali said B. Are you all deaf? You are the majority. What you are telling me is that the poor cannot sit down and say, you know something, we have listened to these people, they are all the same. Now this is what we are, and we are going for election. Everyone, £1, £2. Kobo, ekojo. Is that not what you guys are doing? Are you not fighting? Don't you have your own radio station?
Of course.
This is what we are telling you, that you do not sit down and condemn your own soul and say that, you know something, we can't do anything because God has chosen. God did not choose Bola Tinubu. Nigerians voted for him by hook or by crook. Akufo-Addo in Ghana, God did not choose him. And we have want them to stop saying God has chosen somebody. God don't choose anyone. We choose them. A man called Olarotimi, Olarotimi, he said the gods are not to be blamed because the gods don't exist. We make the idols. We are the gods. We create the gods. Our ignorance is why we are ending up with bad gods. Who goes to a church and nobody's in the church? You alone. You can't be called a pastor. You can't be called a pastor without people behind you. Where are these people getting hooligans to be following them? I even remember your own group. They went beating some people that don't listen to them again. You were beating them. We saw the video. You beat them. So what I'm trying to say here is that, you see, when we don't create a and this is what they've done in Niger and Mali. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot sit down for hopeless people that God has cursed because their own parents have stolen money and they have some money to buy people and buy the voices of the community. And they create, God has given them the ordained rights by the power of God to rule over you and make your life miserable.
Miserable.
This is why we told them, we don't want to put a condition on who is going to vote. Everyone must vote. Universal adult suffrage. No condition. Oh, we vote. And you only vote. As long as you are West African, what the constituency belong, and you are voting for the parliamentarians and president, vote for the one to come to Ecowas. Taba shekini ati buburu ati rere mwakpadi. For now, the people are not choosing anything. I don't think you get me. See, Niger Farage will not have gone to EU Parliament because one, Parliament. The man stood for about, he changed constituency about 8 times to go to British Parliament. They never voted for him. If assuming they are choosing people to go to EU Parliament from British Parliament, Westminster, that man, Niger Farage, would never have gone to EU to go and tell them what he thinks. But they cut Britain at that time like all EU, and they created constituency, and they allow people to go who want to go to EU to vote and go there. And he created a UK party. On that party, he found himself in Brussels. Kobo, everybody contribute. They went there. They told the European to bloody leave them alone. They want to leave. They don't want to be part of it. Ecowas is not by force. Wallahi, there is nowhere where there's a law that any country in West Africa, by law, like the international community, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. The only one you can choose to even join, you can choose to join United Nations. There's no law in the world that says every country in West Africa must be part of ECOWAS. That law does. Even you don't have a law that says by force. Morocco was not in the African Union. Do you know that? Morocco for a long time left the African Union, and they were on the continent of Africa until they decided to join later. Is that not true?
Yeah.
So, killer answer.
Well, my brother, we will have to wind up because we've been expecting some calls. It's Sunday, and before
Most people
by the church, but I can assure you the viewership will rise very, very soon. because people are going to be networking it from now. Yes, I want us to make this a regular sort of a program, simply because, yeah, what am I looking at? A book by KOFFI ALLI.
This is a
Tell us
book.
about it, please, before we go.
Yes, briefly. This
Hmm.
is my last book, my latest book, sorry. The second book.
Show it
And this
properly
is,
on the camera because something is blocking it. Push it
can
down
you see it?
a bit down, a bit to the left. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's
Sovereignty,
called
secret of great nation. Okay.
it's called The Secret of Great Nation, and the title is Sovereignty.
Hmm.
Good. Briefly, just 5 minutes. You see, for far too long, we've been misled to believe that the word independent, territorial integrity, and sovereignty mean the same thing.
Hmm.
They are not the same. There are only 4 sovereign nations in the world, and they all hold a position at the UN Security Council, and they have what we call veto power. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The rest, there are 193 nations at the United Nations, with South Sudan 94. Only 4 are sovereign. And you can see their flags here because nations are represented by flags. Can you see them?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There is one flag, you don't
China,
know this flag.
America, China,
China,
UK,
US. This
mhm,
is China. This is Russia.
Russia.
This is US. Do you know this one?
Uh no, I can't see properly. I have no idea.
Good. This flag, I know you know this one and this one. This is Ecowas, and this is EU. They
EU.
are down. But these 4, they are sovereign. This one is the reason why the British left the European Union. This is the flag of the United Kingdom. We are always confused. Let me see whether I have the Union Jack here. The Union Jack is the flag the British Empire used across the colonies because this island and Ireland, the 2 are called the British Isles. And on the British Isles, they have 4 nations under the king.
Hmm.
Then that gave them the power at that time to go into the world and colonize other people. They created colonies. Everyone, remember the system they have here, there was a king who is the head of state and the prime minister as head of government. So wherever they go to, the flag they use is the Union Jack, which is the British flag everywhere. Then, after the Second World War, as the problem we're having in the world, you know, after America have got their independence long ago, they have their flag, their union, they form their union, they form United States. Then the First World War and the Second World War was because people were asking for their independence. And some are also fighting, like the German, they own Togo, Cameroon, Namibia, and Tanzania. This land, they lost it in the First World War and it was shared between English and French. That's why you have certain part of the British, which is the Nigeria. It was part of Cameroon that was given to them by the League of Nations. On the other hand, that part was given to them by the French, but the land belonged to the Germans. The same thing with Togo. But something happened. The Germans fought the Second World War because they want their land back. And the people of the colony, like Ireland Republic, they've already fought the British. In 1942, they got their independence. So after the Second World War, it looked like the Germans are fighting because they want their colony back. And these colonies are causing trouble. So it became inevitable. Nigeria, Ghana, we didn't fight for any independence. United Nations agreed. That was the basis on which United Nations was formed. That anyone who was independent must be given their independence. The British were very smart because the British and the French are those who have the biggest problem. You have Spanish and the Portuguese in South America. They've given most of those guys independence long ago. But the British and the French, the Indians were giving them bloody nose. They're fighting them that they should leave them alone. So, United Nations said everyone must be given their independence because this war will never stop. Let everybody choose their friends. This is why you now have Americans and the European ganging up to force you to be their friends by force. This is what they are doing now. So, how was the independence granted by the British Empire? You know what the British Empire did? They created, the British is there, isn't it? They created two bodies. One is called the Commonwealth. I know you know the Commonwealth flag.
Yes.
The other one is called the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is inside the Commonwealth. Now, so this flag, like the EU flag, is called the Royal Standard. Anywhere you go where the king is there, you see this flag there. You don't see the British flag.
Okay. Now, that's true.
Good. When the queen died, this flag was what they used to cover about. So when the king, now there are some countries that this king is their head of state. So it's like United States of America. The land are at different places, not in one place like EU and United States. Even United States, Alaska is not on the mainland. And they have some island. It's the same thing with this one. So when Britain was giving the independence, there were two independence they give. One, those who want the king to continue to be their head of states. Canada, Australia, Jamaica, Barbados just left because it's not by force. New Zealand, even Nigeria. That was why you had the Governor General and then you have Balewa. Then later they changed it and put Azikiwe there when the Ghanaians said they have declared republic. The problem started with Kwame Nkrumah. It's one of the reasons why they remove him quickly before he pollutes everyone. Does it make sense? So what I'm trying to say here is that Gibraltar, Australia, New Zealand, there are so many land. They are all under the king here. He is the commander-in-chief, like Tinubu is the commander-in-chief and head of state of Nigeria. When you also go to US, the president of America is the head of state and the commander-in-chief and the head of government of their union. Over here, the separation is that in the British model, the United Kingdom model, the king, you understand, has his kingdom, which are mostly the ex-colonies. But unlike the past where they used to choose governor general from here to go there, the governor general will be from there. In Canada, a Canadian will be.
Okay, ALLI, we are having a caller. Let us hear the caller's opinion. Good afternoon, caller. Where are you calling from, sir? And what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Sayo. I'm calling from London.
Okay, go on.
I can't hear him.
In fact, I agree with your guest today, and I will also contribute my own little right there. I just believe for us in Africa, for us to succeed, we just have to break all the country being established by the colonial masters. We have to break it. If we don't do it, we will never succeed. We have to break it. When they first came, they met us as a tribe. We have to go back to that tribe and use it to form a country. Without that, it's just like having children being trained by people who are not their parents. That's how we are.
Thank you very much, sir. KOFFI, ALLI, did you hear what the caller was saying?
I heard what the caller was saying, but I have slightly a different take on that.
Okay.
In Ghana, forget about Nigeria with about 400 tribes or 200 tribes. Because when you say a tribe, no matter how small, it's just a nation that has got a language and a kind of identity and a leadership under a common leadership. Like the Yoruba, their leader, they said, is Oduduwa. The Hausa said is Danfodio. These are nationhood, but within, sometimes you can have smaller nations. In Ghana, I counted in my first book, The Darker Side of Ghana, we have about how many? We have 42 tribal nations. And everyone believe in their own superiority and their clear identity. So if we are going to go by what my brother is saying, it's like Angpada saying, Wajula law. You see,
àlàyé tí wọ́n ṣe ni wípé kákọ́kọ́ lé ẹlọ́kọ́rọ́ lọ́nà káwá fún ọmọ
Magbo, please,
okay, okay, he's trying to interject again. Please hold on for him. Yeah, go on, caller.
Okay, you see, don't let us think we are going back. It's a lie. We are not going forward. We are not going backwards. We are not going back. We are going forward with my idea. Look, let me tell you this thing. Anyhow you are progressing with the kind of country being all established by this colonial master, they will use one way to be dividing you.
Exactly. Yeah.
They will always use that way. You see, if Yoruba, we are in a region, yeah, it shows that we have our sovereignty. It will let us have the idea that this thing is ours. But being as in Nigeria like that is ABDUL-YEKIN.
Yes, actually, sir, as I explained this to Mr. Ali and myself, have been at loggerheads over this matter for over 5-6 years now. He will always say that, no, he wants us to unite as West Africans, but I always tell him that he let I think question also day.
And be patient.
And again,
okay, let him land. Let him land.
One thing quickly. Let me point one thing quickly. When the colonial master came, all the people among the Yoruba who go against them, are we supposed to be having a day of remembrance them? We can't do it being in Nigeria like this.
So that is within Nigeria, Yorubas have got no history, even to communicate to our generations coming.
If you watch all these colonial masters here, any day they remember their own people in form of their own celebrations.
Yes.
People who went for, but in our own, we don't have any day that we. Okay, let us say all Yoruba people that has history that they took people from their family as slaves should come out with their picture. Let them come out with their picture, or let them come out to come and say their names. You will see that it will move to many people area. So ABDUL Nigeria is not making us to have something that will unite us together against back outside enemy. But if we are in Yoruba, we will have something that will unite us together
exactly
against outsiders.
Because when we are many in tribes.
Backward.
Yes.
Let me do something here.
Okay.
Let me do something.
It's our sovereignty we are getting back.
Let me do something here. You are Yoruba people. There is Ijebu. There is Ondo. Be patient with me. Be patient with me. At the time the white man came, listen, you were like that, and he catch all of you. He fought all of you, either one by one or together, and he catch all of you. Listen, generations have come. He caught Hausas, he caught Igbo, he caught all of them and put them as one. Then went to Ghana, do the same thing. Went to the do the same thing. Went to that, do the same thing. Now see you. It means at the time the white man came to catch your ancestors, put them in chains, kill what you kill, and created the colonies, you were not strong, you were weak people. If somebody fight war with you and the person beats you, are you strong? He's stronger than you. Now listen, now they look like they are gone, and we all know they are not gone. Then some of us are saying, you know something? Let us bring all those who believe they are victims together and fight our common enemy. Now we have identified him, we know him. We are not, so we heard the people in Niger, they are crying the same thing. Mali, the same cry. Nigeria, the same cries. Yoruba, the same cry. Hausa, the same cry. Ghana, the same. Everybody is crying the same cry within tribes and everything. Why? Because it looks like the situation they find themselves is worse than before. Then we say, okay, you know something? We are now going to get one commander-in-chief to organize us under our own law. We make our weapon and we all attack them.
But the point is, they will always come in and break this unity one way or the other.
The reason why they
always come and break it one way or the other.
Hello. I introduced myself on this platform as a Ghanaian. What you people are doing in Nigeria, we told you, I've told you so many times, I have my own problem in Ghana. I can see beyond my problem. If you cannot see beyond, nobody can stop you. It's your business. You can kill yourself in Nigeria. We are not interested though. We only are standing our border. When you see you crossing, we beat you. So, hey, if you like, kill yourself. If you like, don't. We just stand at the border that when you see any idiot among them coming here, because they're coming to, they've created chaos in their place. They are coming here. So they are coming to steal from us. So, what you want to do with yourself is not the reason why I'm sitting here today. Can you see me? I've told you, my brother Fatai,
as part of the way to salvage us from this incursion by all
you want to salvage yourself. You don't care about us.
No. Let me tell you something.
You are fighting yourself. Who are you fighting?
Okay, let him come.
Who are you fighting?
Let him come in. Let him come in, please. KOFFI, ALLI, let him come. Yeah, go on, sir.
You see, our guest, your idea is very, very good. All our contribution is good, but the contribution must be laid on a good foundation. You understand? Your idea is good. My idea is good. Baba Ribigo, Baba no presenter. Your idea is good, but we must put it on a good foundation. The foundation as in Nigeria is a dead foundation. It's a mirror. Remember this. They use mirror according to history to deceive our rulers in those days, to sell our
serve into slavery.
Ask yourself what is that mirror? The mirror is the nation that they created. It's the nation they created. We call it a nation, but look around the nation. Is it called nation among the people? Look, Nigeria is a country being ruled, being trained by people that are not their parents. Anyhow you look at it, if Buhari is Benin, many Benin that died in the desert that we see their picture all over YouTube. He will pay Buhari, but because Buhari is not their blood. He remember the king that I told you.
Sorry, the line is getting very bad. Sorry about that.
You see, if there is a Nigerian program that has to be done, we are building a bigger house and we are building the foundation of the bigger house. And you said you have a different house to build and you are building your foundation. What you are doing, what has that got to do with
the different idea here? He said what it stands for is the unity of West Africans. And he's saying that
you are talking about Nigeria.
Yeah, he said we are treating Nigeria. Well, what we are trying to say is that even an imagined Yoruba nation can influence the unity of ECOWAS. That is what he's trying to say.
Listen to me.
And you don't buy that idea.
Listen to me. Yoruba nation
is Fatai Ogunribido. Fatai Ogunribido. Okay.
Yoruba nation is for Yoruba people.
He's saying this because he's a Yoruba guy. He's using that as a person.
I said we respect and acknowledge his views. But the opinion the reason why I'm sitting here, before I came here, you people have been having a lot of these discussions. And you have talked about these things seriously. Today, we have war on our land because the drum of war is beating. What we say today, the bombs will roll. Wagner Group is there. Your NATO brothers, you too, you have NATO because you are busy doing Ododua. So you do your Yoruba. And then when the bomb is landing, we will see whether it will separate you from the rest of us. We are telling you, all of you go and call your own brother. Thank God it's not an Hausa man, it's a Yoruba man. No. Tinubu is a Yoruba man. I'm sure these are the kind of people who want to form your own nation with. There are lots of them. Obasanjo is also there.
Hello?
In fact, Adedubu is there. So
Yeah.
when we are talking, maybe what you have in your as your plan
Okay.
is to have perfect leaders. And maybe you can do that, like the Biafras wanted to do that. Everyone wants a perfect leader, but we know there's nowhere in the world. If you said your ancestors were giving, they will fool your ancestors with mirrors. You are insulting your ancestors. If they know how to make mirror, would somebody use mirror to fool them? You are even not ashamed to say your own ancestors are so hopeless that mirror, ordinary mirror and alcohol, they used to catch them as slaves and do it.
Somebody wants to talk to you, Kofi Ali. Please listen to him. Yes, go on, my brother.
Yes, please, I would like to know, how do we get that book? Because I think you have shared some knowledge of that book from the colony system and from the whole colonization. This is quite interesting. So I don't know, is it like that in the book as well?
Where can they get the book from? Is asking.
Actually, this book talks about the principle of nationhood and nation building. And it talks about what is a nation, what is citizen, what is this, what it gives, how the sanctions are used and so forth to control us, why we don't have so many things where this book 1, book 2 is on the way. To get this book, you go to a website called ECDRA, ECDRA, E for Echo, C for Charlie, D for Delta, R for Romeo, A for Alpha, which means Ecowas Citizens Democratic Right Advocate. That is the website. When you get there, you will see immediately the book is there to be downloaded. It's just £9.99. It's a very expensive money. But we don't see the money as anything. We see it as a donation. Instead of saying, oh, donate money to us for this cause, what we are saying, because the war we are fighting with criminals. And the money they have, if we say, oh, Mr. Fatai Ogunribido, we want you now to be a full-time person doing this job. We want you to promote something like this. We can say, Fatai, come and sit down and be talking. The man has a family. They must be paid. The house must be paid, just like a church that are preaching the gospel. But money must come in. So if we want to fight these monsters, we need to have a way of generating income in this modern world, whether we like it or not. Because this is the weapon the criminals are using against us. So when you go to the website, you see, if you are poor and you don't have money in this modern world, you only have an idea, and your own idea will turn you into a madman. Nobody listens to you. But when you're able to bring people, right, one way or the other, start generating some little money, then there'll be full-time people, beautiful ladies, well-dressed, talking and countering. When Al Jazeera make a news, we give our version. When CNN make a news, we pick it up, say what they said, we give our version. Can you see? We are countering the narrative. Because when people continue with lies, and from when you don't believe the lies, like you said, wallah, you start believing it because you don't think of anything again.
Yes, yeah. And it's drawing me to your hair every time, every minute.
Every day, say lie, they beat you. Say lie, say Allah Akbar, they beat you. Wallah, there will come a time you believe it's Allah Akbar. Because if you don't even believe it for anything, for the pain, maybe they will leave you alone. It's the same thing. This is why you see politicians like controlling the media. Because they are controlling the mindset.
The brain, the sense, the mind.
Yes, and we are in an era where there's a lot of information. People are throwing it at you, and those information, sometimes they pollute your mind. You get tired. Some people say they don't even watch television again. They are tired. Because you want information that will enrich you, not information that destroys you. Information that will put food on the table of everyone. What have we done? That basic needs of life, people don't have anything. What have we done? No clothes. You go to Ghana, you see people, you think they are rats. Everywhere is filthy. We can't remove.
And yet there is oil, there is gold in Ghana.
The Americans are British and American firms. They give us peanut and they take everything away. We don't even know. And then we go back to Nigeria and go and buy petrol from the multinational corporation. They are selling things to all of us from our own land. So the book is You get it on the website www.ecdra, ECOWAS Citizen Democratic Right Advocate.com. And that is how you get the book. Thank you very much for the call.
Yes, I'm going to talk to him later and send him the website, the full website domain name, so he can go there. Yes, we have to wind up here. Almost 2.5 hours of deliberation. And I think one way or the other, we've gained from this discussion, and we are actually having the light right now being shared by our brother, our honorable, our big brother, who has always been a major West African advocate, unity, and even though we are in diversity, but he wants us to, that when we are united, then we have more power to fight off our enemies. That is the ideology he has been carrying along, which we share as well. And at the same time, we have to understand the texture of our politics in Africa, the incursion of all these big powers who have always made us against ourselves, and trying to teach us against each other and giving us stipend to be able to fight ourselves. These are the sort of things he's trying to fight off, that we have to unite so that we can be a big force to fight off all the colonial enforcement on us, and all the looting of Africa, and the way we are being treated as if we are never important to the world. So we share your idea. We are going to be continuing this program every time, because our people need more enlightenment about West Africa and about ECOWAS ideology. We need more idea about how we can free ourselves, because right now we are stranded. We are in a serious dilemma of how do we get out of the incursions of these big powers. Now, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, they've shown us the light that it's only you who can hold your destiny in your hands. That when you are determined, when you are united, and when you have a common purpose, a common vision, then there is nothing impossible. Africans, West Africans, ECOWAS community, Nigerians, we Yorubas, please let us know that there is unity, and there is strength in unity, and with unity can we only achieve our freedom in Africa. Thank you, Mr. Kofi Ali. I always refer to you as a doctor. I mean, your material, your work is more than a doctor anyway, but you always want to remain humble, and I appreciate that, actually.
And I want to say that
wípé kán tún máa retí wa ní ọjọ́ mi pé ẹ máa wá láti máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú, láti wá là wá létí, láti ṣí wa létí. Ẹ wá bá wa sọ fún wọn wípé ní Nàìjíríà lónìí o, Yorùbá Nation Emergence ó máa ní nǹkan kan tó máa ṣe láti gba Áfíríkà kúrò ní oko ẹrú. Ẹ bá wa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
Ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation, Nàìjíríà bó ṣe rí gangan, ọjọ́ kan ń bọ̀ tí wọ́n pín ìlú yẹn, wọ́n kọ̀ wọ́n fẹ́. But lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí o, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa rò pé àsìkò yẹn ti tó. Nítorí kíni, wọ́n ní tí ẹkùn bá ń lé ọmọ ẹni, nítorí ọmọ ẹni lọ tọ́ ẹkùn, a máa ń kọ́kọ́ lé ẹkùn lọ́nà ká tó bá ọmọ wí. Níbi tá a wà ń sìn lọ́rọ̀ ilé kélekèle tá a ní, tó bá dé Senegal, àwọn Casamas wà bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n ní àwọn Tárìkì wà bẹ́ẹ̀, everywhere tó bá àwọn kan ní àwọn fẹ́ lọ, oníkálukú fẹ́ bá ẹnìkankan ṣe mọ́. Lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà ìnira ló ń fà. So kájẹ̀ tó mọ tó ń ṣe wá pé o, because èèyàn àwọn èèyàn lè jókòó kan sọ pé ẹni sùúrù. Nígbà tí ọ́yẹ̀lì tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí tó yẹ pé orí ilẹ̀ ibì kan ló wà, tó àwọn kan fẹ́ máa jẹ, kán máa fi dájá, àwọn yòókù kọ́ àwọn ní kí làwọn ó jẹ. Àwọn gan ní fẹ́ gbà káwọn kan lọ. Gbogbo ẹ̀ wà nù tó ń fa wàhálà yìí.
Kò sẹ́ni tó lẹ́rú tó fẹ́ kẹ́rù òun lọ, torí ẹrú náà mú tán jẹ náà.
Gbogbo wọn náà nǹkan kan náà là ń jẹ. Àti ta ló gbé epo sínú ilẹ̀, Ọlọ́run ló máa lè. Àwọn kan náà máa wà níbi tépo wà, that's all. But tí a bá lè ṣe, tá a bá yọ ìbò nínú ọ̀rọ̀ wa, àwa gangan láwa jókòó táwa wo bí nǹkan ṣe rí. èmi máa ń sọ lójoojúmọ́ ìpè ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà yẹn pẹ̀lú àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀ tó yẹ pé èèyàn ó lọ nù Nàìjíríà yẹn àwọn yẹn ti pọ̀ jù ibi irú Òṣòdì nǹkan yẹn nínú Nàìjíríà gangan ilẹ̀ wà tó yẹ pé tán bá tún ṣe tára àwọn èèyàn wà ń bẹ̀ àwọn ìlú wà tán lè dálẹ̀ tí ara ó tó àwọn ènìyàn. lẹ́yìn yẹn o this crowd yẹn yóò wá dínkù bí irú Amẹ́ríkà yẹn yóò dínkù. bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yẹn Mali Niger nǹkan yẹn ilẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ technology bí irú bá ṣe ń ṣe ń Dubai yẹn láti lè ní fúnra wa láti ṣe ní tí ò jẹ́ kí ní kálukú fẹ́ lọ bẹ̀ yẹn nìkan ewu ní kálukú fẹ́ wà níbi tí bóyá iléèwé wà omi wà iná wà ó súnmọ́ àwọn èèyàn nítorí ni you see that most of us are in the same place tó bá lọ if you go to Accra gbogbo wa pátá láti Ghana Accra la wà oníkálukú fẹ́ lọ bí kankan.
For instance, what gave birth to Abuja? It is the overall population of Lagos that brought the idea of, okay, let us go and create a new capital.
You see, Abuja like ECOWAS. You see, the ECOWAS headquarters in Abuja is not permanent. No. It's only there temporarily. Is the history of ECOWAS Commission in Abuja. Because I fẹ́ gbé kíní ẹ̀ sí ìlú tó lágbára Nàìjíríà ti lágbára tiẹ̀. A fẹ́ dá new capital city ilẹ̀ ni. But the technology is just like Abuja. Lagos started accidentally as a capital for so many historical reasons. Nígbà tásìkò yá tí àwọn Nàìjíríà decide pé ẹ mọ̀ kíní kan bóyá àwọn Hausa yẹn ń bẹ̀rù ni o bóyá àwọn Igbo feel pé Lagos ti jìnnà jù wọ́n á decide pé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé iṣẹ́ àárín Nàìjíríà yẹn. Àárín Nàìjíríà ló lọ yọ federal capital territory because wọ́n feel pé kíní kò gbọdọ̀ fi sẹ́gbẹ̀ kan ó gbọdọ̀ wà láàrin. When they created the federal capital, the problem is the infrastructure benye báwo ni wọ́n ṣe kọ́. The infrastructure is very expensive. Báwo la wọ́n ṣe kọ́. Then they plan that they will design Nigeria and educate Nigerians and industrialize Nigeria. So in the next 30 to 40 years from that time, àwọn ará Nigeria wọ́n á kọ́ capital tó bí fit wọn. But the coup of Babangida, Dimka
against Murtala,
Major Oka, ó shake àwọn SMC, ó shake àwọn military yẹn pé ibi bá yóò safe. So the emergency is what forced Babangida.
That is Oka's coup against Babangida.
Oka's coup. Then they packed themselves and left the down barracks straight to Abuja.
Overnight.
When they got there, now they need to build a capital city because the man has declared the place a capital. So what they have to do for the Ministry of Everything, they need to bring foreigners to come and build everything. And that cost Nigeria huge sums of money.
Nigeria industrialized. They just threw
you see, capital city, modern capital city is an expression of the prosperity of the people.
In the country, yeah.
Atishorire, Olatide,
the other way around now in Nigeria.
When you come to Britain, you see all these beautiful roads, or the shard and so on. They are telling the rest of the world that they are not a joke. Can you see? In our case, even when we want to go and build toilet, then we go and give half the country. You give a whole oil field to Julius Berger. And we leo amako epo yen lo tori kan ba le ko titi kan. Kan ba fe ko bridge kan. Ta ba man kan wa ko ni te an se machine wa. We don't need these people. We don't need them. Do you understand me?
Yeah,
the
I know.
The federal government of Nigeria spend money on education. Ola ele mi gan je ti mo fi lo le iwe ofe. Because they believe that when every more Nigerian population are educated, this technology, they will get it. But they didn't realize that they don't have political independence. It was the technology the Nigerians were looking for. And we know the plan. We know the national development plan. But today, what is so when the Baba Sare kama taba lo tek are kama kuluka. Yes, borrow Nigeria Shirinu. And it's the whole of West Africa, if not the whole of Africa. So on this note, my brother, thank you very much for having me. And I want to say, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tán fi àsìkò lẹ̀ tán gbọ́ díẹ̀ tá a lè sọ. Àwọn onímì láti sọ mọ́, gbogbo ń tà ń sọ láti sọ tán.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn ìsọ̀rọ̀ láàbọ̀, because àbọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀. If you want to talk from the beginning, end it. Ọlá nǹkan míì láṣọ bàbá pàdé. Because nílé ayé ẹnìkan kì í jókòó nígbà tá a bá jókòó bí ẹyẹ tá a bá ń pariwo nǹkan kan àti resolution sí ló yẹ àmọ́ dáàsì tí ó ṣe bí ọmọdé ni ó kàn máa sunkún ni ẹkún ọ̀ràn ẹkún òṣì. But ẹni tó bá mọ̀, if you know what to do, you have your plans, they are lined up in front of you, you are moving. Because what we are doing, if we are not careful, our great-grandchildren will come and meet it. Fathers fought against this. And when they were Macaulay Kebo, they wanted to change their destiny. Our time they are our great-great-grandfather today. Our gang, so we need to understand the battle didn't start from today. It started long ago. But we are the generation that will pass the baton to the next one. And we
Thank you very much, my brother. We are the generation that will pass the baton to the next generation. And please, so let it be. Eba share àlàyé fún àwọn èèyàn wa as your final word wípé ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa àti lọ gbógun lọ sí Niger Republic ó máa kó wàhálà àti ìdààmú bá West Africans so kánjọ kán má jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ ṣé.
Yeah, they need a serious demonstration. Kan sọ fún bàbá wa Tinubu àgbàlagbà ni àgbàlagbà kì í bọ́ta kó ṣe bí kíní kó má jẹ́ káwọn olórí burúkú tì. Òun náà ni he has his own problem at home. He should solve it. Yes, àsìkò tí ìtò tásìkò bá tó.
Somebody wants to just have a little word, sir.
Okay.
Go on, sir. Before we.
May the Lord give us the wisdom to understand and be able to do it.
I listened to your
I'm not listening
to you, and I gain a lot from it. But to be honest with you, as a Yoruba man, as a Nigerian, I'm talking from a Yoruba side, and I'm giving my own idea for something that I believe it will be benefit to the Yoruba.
Okay.
And also, if other tribe will copy what the idea, it will benefit them too. If you look at the whole Africa, there is two institutions in each country: political institution and traditional institution. Am I wrong?
Yes.
If you look in a village, each village, the traditional leader there, he can command the whole village to go to a war.
Action, yeah.
Am I wrong?
Of course.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
That means we, as a country in Africa, especially from West Africa, we have political institution, which is all these politicians, and we still have our traditional institutions. Okay, look at all the ideas each country in Africa is making, especially in West Africa. Where is the representative of all that traditional in all our decision making?
They are non-existent.
You understand me? You will see some politicians when they are dead. They may be on the side of some traditional, maybe some king in some area, which will push some away. It's wrong. Because we didn't make them as an institution into our democracy. And those people are our parents, because they know the beginning. They know the beginning of the land. They are the beginning when everything started. So that's why I'm saying until when all the states, country being created by colonial master are break up, we will never go anywhere, uncle. Never.
Thank you very much, sir. The message, the message is clear enough, and I think he had you. So what our brother was saying was that even though we have all this political setting, everything, but our tradition is missing. Our cultural background is missing. That anything we are doing, we must be able to go back to history and allow history to reflect in all things that we are doing. And that's why he's thinking that if a Yoruba nation emerges, if the traditional rulers can motivate themselves with the traditional rulers of Ghana, traditional rulers of other, so that through this unity can come to West Africa, But when we are relying on the so-called political system from the foreign world, that this can never bring us unity.
Can I come in?
For 1 minute, because we have to go.
For one, you see, if we are not careful, we'll start getting divided. There are certain issues some of us would rather not even want to talk about. When a man is a village chief, do you understand? In other words, either he's a fetish doctor or an herbalist or somebody from the rural area, decided to send his son to school. He has a choice. Send his son to another babalawo to teach him how to be a babalawo, or send his son to school to become a medical doctor. Both of them are going to cure people. The one that sent his son to his fellow babalawo want his son to continue, which you people call your tradition. The one that has sent his son to the modern day school to learn to be a medical doctor, to wear white gown and have the stethoscope on his neck and be injecting people in the and be doing surgery, that one wants his son not to continue where he is doing it, to do it a different way. A politician, when you say someone is a politician, Imam is a politician, Babalawo is a politician, Chief is a politician. The ones you call, you see, when you call something tradition, you are only calling it tradition because you believe your ancestors did it and you want it to continue to the future. It's just like language, which is your business. But when we come to the modern business, we go and elect people. We believe in ourselves and we elected them. We do not want the business of Babalawo. We want hospitals to be built. We don't want a traditional business.
This is your own idea, because as the saying goes, when a river forgets its source, it dries off inevitably. So there is no way we can anyway. There is no way we can live life without having. This is part of the problem that we are having.
We are not arguing.
You are coming to Yoruba Nation interview today. And you are putting up tie and jacket. We want you to.
When I was coming to this country, I came with aeroplane, not kete kete.
KOFFI.
We have so many of the traditional business there. I came here because of the one here.
And the very first note here, we can't
now
forget.
let us be even the Babalawo is taking a car now. Let us be the chief. Even the chief enter a car made in the laboratory by educated people. You see, we are confusing the two. They are the same thing. Ento jamala, atento jaraisi, onjeni bubu mwaje. Inkakana ni mejeji. They only look different. So, ibitawa, what our ancestors were doing, they were not doing anything different from what the modern system is. The difference is the way you do it. If you speak Yoruba and someone speak Igbo, they are all talking.
Yes.
The question is, in the situation before us, which monster are we fighting and how do we fight this monster? Like I remember when in South Africa, they were fighting apartheid. And the South Africans have they've got nuclear weapon, big one, against the rest of Africa. Do you know what Obasanjo said? He's alive. You know what he said? He said, since we cannot fight these people, let us use Onde Shekere. You know, all those. He said it. He's a military officer. He said, let us use to fight them.
You were so young then,
when someone say this, and it can't be but they don't power.
When he was a military leader, yeah.
Oh, power. And when you get a loop, one get a bomb with you, that one power. Eja lo she bomb with you, one. Nítorí àwọn bàbá ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́lò tiwa làwọn ó lò àwọn tán fẹ́ ṣe yẹn. If you go to India, ní tí ò jẹ́ kí India ṣoríire nù, China wọ́n ti fọ gbogbo bẹ̀ tán pátá. Kò sí ẹnìkan tó fẹ́ dáfọ̀ nù yàrá ẹ̀. Tó bá ní ẹbọ nù yàrá ẹ̀, gbé sínú yàrá ẹ̀, má gbé ìta. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ tẹ̀ ṣe bọ̀ yín, ẹ lọ ṣe shrine tó dáa kẹ́ ṣe ń bẹ̀ yẹn. Àfẹ́ rí dẹ̀tí kankan bíbá. A lè torí nítorí àṣà ká máa ṣorí burúkú a lè ṣe yẹn o àwọn tí ó ṣe àṣà ẹ̀yin gan tẹ́ ṣe àṣà yín tí ọ̀làjú bá dé tá a gbá gbára wa lẹ̀ wàláì àti ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yín àti mosque yín àti àṣà yín á make sure pé ẹ ṣe é pẹ̀lú ọpọlọ àní gba wèrè mẹ́sìn àní gba intent tradition yẹn ẹ̀yin náà máa ṣe tradition yín o lẹ́yìn I'm coming for my brother Fatai ẹnìkan lọ parliament ó wá múra the way you múra because he's a Yoruba man the next thing wá múra ó múra bí àfà bí mala òun náà lọ ẹnìkankan ọ̀sán kankan nígbà tó yá ẹnìkan wá gbé màkàwé àsórí ẹ̀ ẹnìkankan ọ̀sán kankan ìjọ kan tẹ́ bá ṣọ́ra president yín kíní cross tí pope máa ń gbé sórí àti tìbọ̀rù yóò gbé sọ́run I'm now your president because ìjọ ní tẹ́nìkan ṣe ẹnìkankan ọ̀dà ní Ghana lẹ́nìí in Ghana today a lè sùn àti àwọn muslim àti christian àti àwọn pagan wọ́n bọ́ ṣe ń lùlù lẹ́nìkan oníkálùkù ń ṣe tó wù.
Likewise in Nigeria.
Noise pollution has taken because when you talk, the Muslims will say they have a right to call for prayer at 4 o'clock.
Oh my God!
What last speaker? She was in London. They will put last speaker on the house. Allah, hello. I want to thank you. One niche. Ìwọ tó fẹ́ lọ bíṣẹ́ wọ́n ń pariwo sí ẹ lórí ìgbà olówó àlọ́bíṣẹ́ kó tún ṣe tán ẹnìkan náà tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ God is coming o nígbà tó máa ń lu kẹ́náà láti 4 o'clock wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ orin òṣì yìí kò sí ẹ tó ní sinmi ládùúgbò ẹlòmíì wà bóyá ice water ló ń tà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì nígbà tó bá mú tán wá ń lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wọ́n á fún wèrè last speaker kò ní jẹ́ kára àdúgbò gbádùn àmọ́ tá school tó bá ní school wọn àti wọn fi ṣe ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì inú ẹ̀ kò síbi àní sinmi mọ́ ẹnìkan wá tún ayé lọ gbé rédíò tiẹ̀ òun náà ní òun ta music yóò wá sí Ṣínà Peter wọn máa àti ẹ̀wọ́ àmọ́ tó ń pa wá mọ́ the whole country is not
right. We are in complete disarray.
I mean so anyway. You see kò sí tí ò dá tọmọ Yorùbá bá múra like you did to you see wọ́n ní tí a bá fẹ́ lọ sóde bí òde yẹn ṣe rí là ń múra lọ you dress by an event tó bá jẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ni ẹ wàá dress bí ọlọ́pàá ó ń lọ bí ọlọ́pàá tó bá ń lọ bí òde súná wàá dress báyìí tó bá wà ń lọ sọ́fíìsì báyìí là ní o dress àwọn málànà bẹ̀rẹ̀ wàhálà yìí tó ní kálukú sọ pé àwọn Yorùbá àti Ìgbò náà sọ pé àwọn náà ṣe tó wù wọn because málà ń ṣe tó wù àwọn Haúsá láwọn á di kí àwọn Nàìjíríà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa múra bó ṣe wù wọ́n àwọn Ghana náà ti ń kọ Senegal ti ń kọ tí wọ́n bá ní nísìnyí òtẹ ní mọ who is who ọlọ́pàá gan múra the way you dress ọlọ́pàá lè múra bẹ́ẹ̀ kó máa rìn tó bá ní ó ní òun wà undercover kẹ́ tó mọ̀ ń gba bribe ẹni tó bá wá wọ aṣọ ọlọ́pàá ojú oníkálukú wà lórí ẹ̀ everybody can see this báwọn ọmọ bá ní problem gan wọn á mọ tí wọn lọ bá nítorí aṣọ tó wọ̀ ẹni tó bá múra like you ọmọ oní ò lọ bá pé dáàdi mo ti sọnù ń bolẹ̀ mọ̀ lọ́nà so gbogbo ilé là ń sọ ìmúra wa oúnjẹ wa ilé tá à ń gbé ohun gbogbo ẹ̀ ó ní ṣe àìsàn tá à ń gbà aṣọ tá à ń wọ̀ ó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú wàwà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
bí èèyàn bá múra bí wèrè wọ láì ó behave bí wèrè nítorí ẹ̀ la fi ní táwọn ọmọ bá ń lọ sùkúù kó ní kálukú wọ clean school uniform very simple kó lọ sùkúù irun ẹ̀gán gbọ́dọ̀ gé ni kó lọlẹ̀ kó dẹ̀ wọ yẹrí kékeré tó bá fẹ́ wọ yọrí àfẹ́ kó wá fi owó bàbá ẹ̀ hàn ní sùkúù tó bá ṣe tán ló máa ṣe yẹn nù lé yín bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹni tó lọ bí iṣẹ́ nígbà tí èèyàn bá kó gbogbo owó tó lọ ra irú aṣọ tí àwọn Tinubu nǹkan wọ̀ yìí ìgbà wọn ni kò ní jalè ìwọ kan aṣọ kan tó wọ̀ gbogbo ìlú lè wọ̀ ìwọ àtìyàwó ẹ̀ níbo lẹ́ ń lọ. So the system táwa náà promote on the other side ìgbà mi wà ó máa encourage corruption. Àwa in fact we want to eat our cake and have it. Àwa a ní a fẹ́ lọ wájú àwa náà a ní a fẹ́ wà lẹ́yìn because n táwọn bàbá wa ṣe tó bá jẹ́ ó pé ni wọ́n láwọn ní kó wọn lóko ẹrú wọ́n bọ̀ wá kó yẹn wá ń ṣe òǹdè gbogbo wọn lọ kó lọ sí Jamaica gbogbo wọn pátá wọ́n fi wọn sínú ṣéènì wọn kó wọn lọ tà wọn lẹ́rú nítorí nígbà yẹn but ìgbà tí wọ́n nu ìgbà tí wá yàtọ̀ ìgbà àsìkò tiwa àsìkò tó yàtọ̀ ni àwọn yẹn máa ń lọ space àwa wá jókòó tá à ń sọ bóyá politician ni ó ṣe kinní kan Emir àti Tafawa Balewa ṣé kò ṣe politician Sardauna ṣé kò ṣe politician Sardauna is a politician, but he's the emir of Sokoto. So kill and so you, Cherry, but our ni afeki, we don't want this kind of trivial issues to be the reason why we not focus on important things. You understand? Elomi office in Ghana aso lo gbe so si kini bo sise aso e ni on lo government office wa kini ta ba lo parliament elomi owo maka. If you go to Ghana parliament njo tin ba ti lo be ba inu ma bi mi ni igba won kini awon nibo lo ti wa
the same mentality all over West Africa. Oh my shit.
Everybody do what they like. And to ba mura ba yo le ni tọ́lọ́pàá bá fẹ́ gba bribe yóò wo ara rẹ̀ kó tó gba bribe. Ẹjọ́ amúrabá yìí wọ́n á ní àmàlà ni wọ́n kàn fún lówó ni. Bribe ló ń gbà bẹ́yẹn. So ẹjẹ́ amúra. But gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, èmi àti kọ́ ọgbọ́n kan. We've learned one lesson. Wọ́n ní tí àwọn èèyàn bá ń ṣe nǹkan, tí a bá ń pariwo lé oníkálukú bí ajá, ìwọ tó ń ṣe ò dá, ìwọ tó ń ṣe ò dá, Yorùbá kìíní kan, ń da kìíní kan láàmú. Ìgbà wo láwàá ráyè sọ̀rọ̀ gidi kankan? So, we've said, and our principles is very clear. The war is clear and we are focusing on the problem. Others too have a duty and the right to express themselves. And you have a right. If you feel this, the way you dress or the way you do things is what gives you that self and sense of worth.
Yes, that's what.
Why not? Maybe with time, you may see some reason. But for now, àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ jà, wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe tí Yorùbá nation ní, wọ́n tẹ̀ ní gbọ́n kankan, kíní kan. Àwọn lè, àwọn jàǹdùkú tá à ń bá jà, wọ́n máa kọjá ilé ìtẹ́ ń ṣe yìí lọ. But àwọn kan sọ tiwa ni o. Wọ́n ní àbọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ là ń sọ fún ọmọlúwàbí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àbọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ó sọ. Ká dẹ̀ focus. Nǹkan ogun láti kó wá yìí. Wagner Group one on the other side, Nato wà lórí on the other side. Wọ́n fẹ́ da gbogbo West Africa rú. Ṣé ìyẹn gan kò tó kéèyàn jókòó kó ronú?
Ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ lé àwọn criminal lọ. Àwọn wà á jókòó wà á wo because tí problem bá wà láàrin wa wọ́n láyà àyànjú ẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn èèyàn ní wọ́n ṣe mọ́, wọ́n ní wọ́n bá nìkan ṣe mọ́, wọ́n ṣe mọ́, ṣé tipátipá ni. But ìgbà míì wà. Nǹkan kan ò ní ráyè jẹ́ ká focus lórí àwọn teething problem tó wà nínú àdúgbò.
Distractions.
There are so many distractions. So ẹja focus lórí àwọn olórí burúkú. Ìyàwó kì í ṣerú èyìnbó.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn ìṣerú wọn Amẹ́ríkà gan bá wọn jàrí. Wọ́n lá àwọn Europeans wọ́n tí wọ́n bá wọn jà tán fojú àwọn British rí. Àwa náà ti rí fín. Àwa náà á kọ́ wọn lọ́gbọ́n. Ọlọ́run tẹ̀ ti ṣe wọ́n bá Putin jà tó ẹnìkan òdò tí wà ṣá wọ́n fún wa nìkan ogun gbogbo nuclear bomb tó wà láyé láti sọ fún wọn pé kan kó fún wa àwọn ní jù sí Europe orí yín lájú sí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ tẹ́. Yes.
KOFFI ALLI authentic.
Àwọn ní jù sí Europe. Àwọn ní tí wọ́n fi mú tá a bá jù bá ṣe rí ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ ní kàkà àwọn málà yìí tó ju wọn ti fọ́ yẹn gbogbo wọn ojú gbogbo wọn tó kù láfọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ jẹ́ ká àwọn ọ̀tá ilé ká bá wọn wí ká tó wá fàbọ̀lé ọ̀tá àta ní agbára Ọlọ́run.
Láàrin ara wa like you said àwọn táwọn Nàìjíríà àwa tá a wà ń bíbá ká organize ara wa lọ́jọ́ kan ká lọ àwọn Al Jazeera wọn wá pé àwọn Nigerians gan wà ní London wọ́n kọ́ báyìí ipe wọ́n ní ká fi àwọn Niger yẹn lẹ̀ ẹ má dá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ má lọ kógun bá wọn because wàhálà ní kíní yóò fà táwa náà bá sọ àwọn Ghana sọ bíbá àwọn yóò wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa sọ káàkiri across West Africa àwọn olórí yẹn ibẹ̀ yẹn ni wọ́n ti sú sẹ́yìn ìpè ẹni sùúrù o kíní tá a rò pé àwọn èèyàn wà lẹ́yìn wa àwọn tẹ́ǹdìbò fún wọn sí lẹ́yìn wa o nǹkan míì wà tí wọ́n ṣe gan àwọn náà yí padà wọ́n á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa ṣe dáadáa.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
But ogun yìí o. But there's another thing. It's just unfortunate. It's going to be painful. Tàbá ṣe tán, àwa pín West Africa. Yóò wá dàbí North and South Korea. Àwọn Russia nǹkan àwọn máa fún wa ní nǹkan ogun àti nǹkan industry. Làwọn náà máa develop on the desert. Gbogbo wa ni wọ́n ti deport síbẹ̀ yẹn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá wà ní ìsàlẹ̀ yẹn ní Nàìjíríà, Ghana nǹkan. Ebo ní choice mọ́ wọ́n wá develop ìlú yín fún yín. Yóò wá dàbí South Korea. Wọ́n máa fún ẹ ní visa kẹ́ máa lọ ìlú ìbò. Àwa ni wọ́n ní fún visa bí North Korea àwa náà kẹ́.
Wọ́n wá sọ di Rwanda.
Wọ́n wá máa pè wá ní terrorist kò kẹ́ a máa lọ holiday ní Russia àti China. So but we can avoid this bloodshed and this mess. I want to say coup plotters after some time they themselves will give up and go. If they are not good people, where is Rollins? Where is Babangida? Where is Awana Lion Okrombe? Where is Pata Loko Kanwolo? But only the time fi wa ashiko won dere eja fi won le. And if France is saying tikpa, they want to kill us, kill human being because uranium yen won ni tete ri mo. Ẹ̀yin tí tẹ́ mọ̀ pé kò kàn ẹ lọ bá jọba yín sọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́ sọ fún pé kàn jẹ́ kí ìbò wa pa àwọn èèyàn káwọn má fara wọn sí. A fẹ́ rí dúdú kankan nínú ẹ̀. Tá bá rí dúdú àní ju bọ́ǹbù sí yín. But tá bá rí dúdú á ju bọ́ǹbù sí yín.
Wọ́n ní tí táwọn NATO wá fẹ́ ja ìjà wọn, wọ́n ní sójà wọn nìkan kó wá o, kán wá jà o. Wọ́n ṣe kán wá lọ lo àwọn ọmọ West Africa, kán wá lọ àwa dúdú nítorí pé wọ́n fẹ́ máa lo táàtì pé ọmọ iná là rán síná. Wọ́n ní ẹ má jẹ́ ká gba ìyẹn láàyè nítorí pé kí ni wọ́n ń lò wá síra wa ni, ṣùgbọ́n àwa ni ká lajú ká lè ríran, ká gbé imú wa ká lè gbóòórùn, ká lè mọ̀ wípé àwọn tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọn yìí wọ́n ń lò wá sí ara wa ni. My brother, thank you very much for this program. A lot of people have they've said they gain a lot from what you have said tonight. This afternoon. By God's grace, this won't be the last time we are bringing you in. You are just an asset for us in West Africa. You are an asset for us in Europe. See, your friends in Yoruba, I can't even stand you because at the way, I think honestly, always very proud of you. Anytime about to meet, I always appreciate your contribution.
Maybe next time we'll do it.
You always lambast me. You always beat me. But I don't care. Well, what I gain from you, I gain from you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Maybe next time we'll do the program in Hausa.
Well, we would like you to even host the program in full Yoruba length without any English contamination. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
By God, we are going to see soon. And yes, I'll be talking to our brother KOFFI Ali ABDUL-YEKIN, Ecowas Citizens Democratic Rights Advocate. He has been enlightening us about the reason why we cannot afford to wage a war now in West Africa, because ECOWAS stands for the unity of West Africans, and at the same time, there is no law that supports any war against the military that has taken over in the Niger Republic. It is not the duty of ECOWAS to go and do that. It is not in their charter. It is not their duty to go and do. And so when any decision is being taken, it is not we as people of West African decision, it is NATO and the European trying to use us against us. That is the message today. Eshegon, may God continue to help us. Now we end the program, and by God's grace, very soon again, expect our brother KOFFI
So, how can I go off